The Absolute Idiots Podcast.
What's up, everybody? I'm James.
And I'm Arman.
And we are the Absolute Idiots. And today we have a special guest.
I'm Arman Chen.
Yeah. Chen. Today we have with us very special guest Annie Leonard. Give her a round of applause.
Yay.
Round of applause at home, please. And we have Annie here because she suggested not only this week's podcast
But
topic.
also last week's podcast topic.
Another round of applause. for
Yeah.
that. And if you want to, I don't know why I'm saying everything in chunks. If you want to suggest an awesome podcast topic,
You
go
point at
ahead
the
and
screen.
I did point at the screen. I'm pointing at you though, listener, listening to this in the shower, thinking I'm not gonna get pointed at right now. You're being pointed at. I don't know. People might listen to our podcast in the shower. If you want to suggest a topic, this is the worst intro. If
you want to suggest a topic, you can message us.
Message us. Follow us on social media at the official Thai Podcast on Twitter and the Thai Podcast on Instagram. And I think we have an email.
We do have an email.
Check the email and the Instagram. I think. Annie, any social media you want to plug?
Yes. If you like pictures of cute dogs, follow Harley the Stumper on Instagram.
I
There
follow,
are lots of Armand follows it, and it's the coolest corgi picture blog in town.
It's definitely the best one.
The town of Instagram.
The local town of Instagram, where all our residents are obsessed with themselves. That was a big, that was a big call out. Like we said, did we say today we're talking about our top 10 favorite video games, and
That didn't work.
your three favorite gamers are sitting in two chairs in front of you.
Yeah.
And we are ready to talk about our top 10 favorite games. Do you just want to dive into it? Do you want to give any context? The requirements for these games, it was kind of based on our own thing. I think some of us put games on here that we haven't played. Maybe. Have you all played your games?
I've played all of my games at least once.
Have you played all your games, James?
There's one game that I haven't finished yet.
Was that Hollow? Was that?
Whoa! Why do you do this? You do this every single time.
Just censor it this time.
When was it at? I'm gonna censor it with a duck noise.
That's what you said last time.
I definitely did not censor it, and I remembered.
Guys, what are we doing? So anyway, we
God damn it, Armand.
they didn't hear. It's okay.
They did not.
They definitely didn't. I stopped myself way too soon.
Yes.
Okay.
The only person who'll know is James's mom because she's watching him play it all the time.
What?
This was going so well that it started. The pizza made me sleepy.
Don't put me out like this, Armand.
Let's. Is there anything else we want to say about our games?
I don't think so.
These are all video games.
These are all video games.
Not board games, not chess.
Yeah, not board games. Not chess is not a board game. They're not like card games or anything. They're very much video games. I don't know what the exact
Definition of
They're very particular. It doesn't matter. They're what you think are video
play
games.
it on something powered by electricity.
Yeah.
That is not a Kindle.
And they're for the purpose of entertainment.
Okay.
All right, what's your?
Could we have put solitaire like on the computer on here?
No.
So
Like that would have been weird.
that's technically a video
Yes.
game.
Technically. Let's start the top 10 list. I'm gonna go first this time. Oh, let's talk about our honorable mentions, I guess.
Oh. Okay. Do you
I
have honorable
have
mentions?
honorable mentions. I just have a ton of Lego games. Oh, also, we were only allowed to put one game per series on here.
Yes.
I don't have any repeated
Yeah,
series
so-
games here,
yeah.
so. Yeah.
So we were only allowed to put. So I put a bunch of Lego games in my. Spoiler alert: there's gonna be a Lego game in my top 10 list. But on honorable mentions, there's a ton of Lego games that should be played. There's Lego Marvel Superheroes. There's Lego City Undercover is definitely probably the second best Lego game. Lego Lord of the Rings needs more playtime. Lego Pirates of the Caribbean, all great Lego games. Those are fantastic games. And Annie has a much better honorable mentions list.
Not true. Lego games are great.
Lego games are great.
I had a lot of runner-ups. The first one I have is Fire Emblem Awakening, which is an awesome game. The first Fire Emblem game I'd played since Shadow Dragon, and I enjoyed the strategy a lot, like the whole turn-based RPG thing, something I'm not very good at, and I didn't like. I was very bad at having the characters not die, but I managed. But what makes this game unique is they introduced dating to make it.
Is that the game that they introduced dating in?
The Fire Emblem game that they introduced dating in.
So funny.
And I will admit, my 12-year-old self, as soon as she discovered that you could marry a character, like, marathon played with this one character, so my avatar would marry them as fast as possible. And I learned later that this is like this is the worst character you could have married your character to. It's like terrible stats, but whatever.
They were hot. Is this the one that Roy was introduced in?
No, that's like Sacred Stones or something. Roy's much earlier.
Yeah, Roy, I remember they put him in Melee before he was even in a game.
Awakening is Chrom and Lucina and Robin.
Oh, good game.
Yeah.
Robin, best girl.
It's very fun. The only thing I don't like about this game that didn't put it on my top 10 is that they keep, like, trying to forgive really evil characters. Like, spoilers, I guess, but you can later
Spoilers
recruit,
for
like,
Fire Emblem Awakening.
Spoiler alert!
You can recruit every single big bad you face in the game except the final big bad who you need to, like, kill.
Really?
Yeah, later on. They'll
That's
just
an
show up and be
interesting
like, they'll be like, cured, and I'm like, they're like, this guy killed your sister, but we're gonna recruit him to our party now. And I'm like, but he killed your sister. Like, there's no barrier. Like,
is that the one with
and it's
Black
like,
Knight in it?
Oh, but no, it's not. I'm talking about Gangrel here. And they're like, but he had a hard life. He was like, grew up on the streets. And I'm like, plenty of people grew up on the streets and don't kill any sisters. But, yeah.
Don't kill any sisters.
My other honorable mentions, which I will keep shorter, are Cook Serve Delicious, which has really fun mechanics, very addictive. I would play it between classes, and choir people started going, wow, and he's playing the cooking game again.
Is it like Overcooked for the Switch?
Oh my god!
What? What happened?
My... Please continue.
No, I want to know what you're so excited about.
James is looking something up on his computer.
It's Cook Serve Delicious. He's looking that up.
Oh, interesting.
Oh my god,
what is the basis of the game?
It's
Annie?
a keyboard-based game. You run your own restaurant, you design the menu, you need to, like, buy everything from scratch. So you start out with nothing on the menu, and in order to play your first day, you're given, like, a stipend to buy your first, like, 3 items or whatever.
Interesting.
And, yeah, so you basically have to balance the expensive foods, which sell for more, and the popular foods with how fast you can make them. Like, soup is really hard to make.
I used to watch this game so much when I was like 11 years old. I loved watching this game. It was so awesome.
That's so cool. How old is this game?
I have no idea. I got it when I was like 15, so that would be like 3 years ago. But
interesting.
If he was 11, then it must be quite old. But yeah, there are 2 sequels.
It doesn't
now.
look too old. Yeah, I was just wondering.
Yeah.
It's so interesting.
Other run-up is the Hobbit video game for GameCube, released in 2006.
Wow.
I loved playing this when I was 6 years old, and I never got past the first level in which you were running around Hobbiton.
Nice.
And collecting gems and playing hide and seek.
And this was based on the book then, because it's not based on the movie.
Yeah, it's based on the book.
That's so cool. I like the book much better.
I will say Smaug could have been better as a voice actor. They were like... Yeah, there's this scene where he's talking to Smaug and he doesn't sound afraid at all. He's like, "This stupid lizard." I never got that far though. I just watched them play. Oh yeah. At this point, I've gotten to level 6, which is like almost at Riverdale, but
wow.
At first, I couldn't get past the trolls. Like the difficulty spike is intense. You go from running around Hobbiton doing whatever you want. It's like open world, and then it gets very linear, which isn't quite as fun.
Have you heard of the Lion King game?
I've not.
For the NES?
Yeah. That's like super, super hard.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I have.
For some reason, it's like one of the most difficult video games of all time. I really want to play it.
Okay.
By the way, for reference, Cook Serve Delicious came out in 2012. I would have been 9 years old when it came out.
And I would have been 10 or 11.
Yeah, so that's a long time
also,
ago.
Yeah. ancient.
same age as Annie, so.
Yeah.
Not when you're young. Old.
All right. Well.
Wait, she has one more game, James.
Oh, sorry.
I
Sorry.
do.
Don't interrupt people on the
Sorry.
podcast.
Yeah. Anyway, also the troll
Okay.
level is the troll level is a stealth level. You have to
Oh.
like get past the trolls without them seeing you, and you get to the pocketbook, and then the pocketbook starts talking, and you get caught. But like the point is to get to the pocketbook without them catching you.
I like stealth levels.
Yeah, it was the first stealth level I'd ever done.
Is that
That was
unpopular
my
opinion that people like
No.
stealth?
Stealth
Well,
levels.
if they're well designed,
Yeah.
some of them are just like very inconsistent, which I find less fun. You want to feel like you're making progress and not like you got through that one time because you're lucky.
That's fair.
Yeah. Yeah. And my final runner-up game is Super Monkey Ball 2.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
Whoa.
this may have been the first video game I ever played. I
Really?
remember being 4 years old and playing it with my 2-year-old sister, and we would take like 12 minutes to get through one round. And we were always 7th and 8th place, and the goal was to beat the sister and not the CPUs because we sucked.
And this
But-
was the one with the crazy looking monkeys, right?
yeah,
And
it's
they
a
have,
bunch
like-
of monkeys.
yeah.
They're all in a little sphere and they roll
Yeah.
along a maze track. It's very
Yeah.
fun to play with friends, and it's the super satisfying physics. When you go flying off the stage, you fly off so satisfyingly. It's like, whee!
Have you played the one where it's a bunch of party games that they play? Super Monkey Ball. I think it's called Banana Blitz.
Banana Blitz? I have played that, but I didn't really get into it.
I played that a lot with my cousins when I was
Yeah.
younger. Spoiler alert, not on my top 10 list, but very good game.
Yeah.
Very fun.
I don't know if anyone out there is interested in
Oh
speedrunning.
wait, I may
but
have played that.
Super Monkey Ball speedruns are some of the most impressive speedruns I've.
Super Monkey Ball is a story mode?
No, speedruns. Well,
Like you get,
oh.
you get through all the levels.
I
really
realized.
fast.
Yeah.
Right, never mind.
And the levels themselves are pretty fun too. I mean, I played it as a party game mostly.
Mm-hmm.
But you can go underwater and in volcanoes. And, yeah. It's really pretty. And all these games that I've described that were made in like the early 2000s, like the Hobbit one especially, you can just like see the chunks and it's like, oh wow, it's terrible. But at the time, the graphics were mind-blowing to me.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I love Monkey
all
Ball.
right.
Yeah.
James.
Honor. Share your
Yeah.
honor.
Honor.
Share the
I don't
honor.
have quite as long of an honorable mentions list.
But
Good.
But okay, first of all, this isn't an honorable mention, but I do have to give a shout out to Undertale for being
Oh!
a
in-
game.
I totally forgot about that one.
it's one of the best story games that I've ever seen, with literally my favorite soundtrack in all of video gaming.
You do listen to a lot of Undertale music.
Yes,
It's very nice.
It's a beautiful, beautiful soundtrack. Toby Fox is a wonderful composer.
Megalovania and Smash. Ugh. So fun.
And yeah, I haven't like played it myself, so I can't really rate the gameplay, but I've watched playthroughs for all 3 storylines of True Pacifist, Neutral, and Genocide. And so it's just a wonderful story that takes you along such a amazing path. But
And Sans.
and Sans is
you
in
along,
it,
Sans.
so that's just
The Sans dating sim.
Sans dating sim.
Ooh, there is dating in the game, but
There is dating in the
don't
game.
date
Spoiler.
Sans.
Yeah, you don't know.
Yeah.
You can date like any
2
of the
people.
characters.
Really?
Well, not
Not any
Any.
of them, like 2 of them.
like 3.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that I knew. Okay.
Okay.
I thought there was like a full like dating mechanic, and I was like, huh?
Oh no.
No.
They're dating mini games.
I've never encountered a satisfying dating mechanic.
But for my real honorable mentions, these
These are the real ones.
James, there was one thing you said about Undertale's like mechanics. The interesting thing about that is I've heard and kind of experienced that I think Deltarune has actually improved on that.
Mm-hmm.
So like Toby Fox has learned about what makes satisfying mechanics, and you now don't have to wander around a level for half an hour in order to find a monster if you've done something unspeakable to all the rest of them. But
I have not like been
you made it smoother.
into Deltarune quite as much, so I can't really comment on
I
that.
like Delta.
Um,
I've never played, but I like.
but yeah, these were games that were very tough to not put on my list, and so they're going on the honorable mentions. So first we're gonna have Civilization 6. Very fun,
Hey.
very
What is that?
satisfying game. It is.
By the way, I'm the dumb one here. I know nothing. Like last week, James didn't know anything about movies. I know very little about video games that are not Nintendo. So, so just
That's fair.
just beware. I'm gonna go. What is that for a lot of this?
Civilization 6 is the 6th installment of the Civilization series.
Oh, I get it now. What's your other honorable mention? Tell us about Civ 6. Tell me about Civ 6.
So it's as you would imagine, you build a civilization starting out from like
Not what I
the
imagined.
ancient eras. You have a small you just start out with one little settler and like your little warriors, and you build up your empire through thousands of years until
Present day.
until present day.
Really?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Or you
Even
can go
beyond
sli-
present day.
yeah, you can go
Slightly
beyond
in the
present day.
future. If you know Alpha Centauri, the old Civ games ended with like you building a spaceship and going to Alpha Centauri, at least the cultural victories, and they
The
made
cultural victories were you
no
flying
cultural,
away.
like science victories.
Yeah,
I don't
science
know,
victories.
progression.
But
Progress
yeah.
victories, as opposed to they had like violence victories and progress
Yeah,
victories.
yeah.
And they
And-
made another game called Alpha Centauri where it's just Civ on Alpha Centauri.
Huh.
That's my
Yeah.
dad's favorite game.
So you build up an empire to reach one of like 5 goals, and if you reach one of these goals, such as like she said, building your science goal, which is just flying
like-
your civilization to the
Is
moon.
this like theme park simulator?
Yeah, you could compare it to like Roller Coaster Tycoon.
Roller Coaster Tycoon is the name of the game that I was thinking.
You're welcome. All right. But yeah, the game is just very, very satisfying to play with all the resource management you have to do, and so much fun to play with friends. If you ever have friends that play
With friends?
Civ-
It's a multiplayer game?
yeah, you can play it because like usually you're competing against other civilizations, and so usually it's just AI that controls those civilizations. But you know, friends that actually
super fun like Civ leaders to interact with. Like there's Medici, and she
Yeah.
speaks in like French when she's all calm and collected, but when she's pissed at you and wants to denounce you, she switches to Italian, which is her native language. And I
Huh.
think that's really lit.
And then my other honorable mention,
And also
A
Gandhi can get mad
huge-
at you.
huge part of my childhood, Wizard 101.
What is that?
It is an
Please keep doing
MMORPG
this. I love it.
that is based like it's a card game sort of
Like
MMORPG.
Hearthstone?
I wouldn't compare it to Hearthstone.
Oh, okay.
You could, but I wouldn't personally. Basically, it's like your regular MMORPG where you fight monsters and you level up and progress through different worlds to stop bigger and bigger villains, and you power up as you gain more levels and go along the story. And this was a huge part of my childhood. I used to play this so much all the time, and even to this day, I still get like bouts of like, I really want to play Wizard 101 because although like the gameplay, in my opinion,
Addiction?
gets stale at one point, at
He's
some
having like
point.
withdrawals. He's like, just one more hour. I
Even though
haven't
the,
had my patch this week.
even though the gameplay gets pretty stale at a certain point, it's just still so much fun. Just I don't know, RPGs are just very satisfying to me.
Oh my god.
Could someone make a Pokemon MMO?
You mean
RPG,
Pokemon
like-
Go?
No, like with cards.
Guys, I have a game that I should have absolutely put on here.
You mean the Pokemon TCG?
No.
No, not you. Sorry.
Well, is it like an honorable mention level or like a on the
Definitely
list?
should have been on the list, but I'm not going to change the list right now in the
Okay.
middle of the podcast.
Can you just say the game?
Quickly, honorable mention, Superhero Squad Online. Have you guys heard of that?
No.
No.
It's an
What
online
is that?
MMO, and wow, did I spend a lot of time on that game. It got taken down a couple years ago, and I was very, very sad. So it was based on the Superhero Squad show, but Superhero Squad Online is like the game that they made about it. And it was really fun. I really enjoyed it. I made a lot of... That was like my first time like delving into like online, like meeting random people. And I was like a little scared at first, but then I realized that like most people on the internet actually aren't going to kill you.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Some will.
Somewhat.
Not everybody, which was
Will?
nice.
Like,
Some
before?
some might.
Some might.
Anyway, I spent a lot of time on that game, and I really loved it. And I was sad when it got taken down, but they were not updating it really, and it was just kind of dying. So, rest in peace, Superhero Squad Online. Sorry, I just want to put that on there.
MMORPGs, everyone.
RPG.
Yeah, man.
What's a JRPG versus an RPG?
Japanese versus
We don't have time to get into that right now.
Oh.
There are very many specifics.
Okay.
That...
Next week's topic is JRPGs versus. Should we move on to number 10? Any more honorable mentions?
Yes.
Anybody? Really quickly,
Yes.
think.
I'm a plug. Not Animal Jam. Webkin's Maze and Hamsters.
Hell
Which
yeah.
has since been shut down, and it's the biggest tragedy to hit online gaming.
Damn.
You know,
Did nobody
Neopets...
put a Club Penguin on here?
No, sorry.
No, I don't.
Neopets
actually
is
love
still
Club
online,
Penguin
you
that
guys.
much.
Neopets is?
Yeah.
Wow.
Dang. Well, let's number 10.
Number
Number
10.
10.
So my number 10 is the the Stanley Parable.
Whoa!
What kind of game is this?
What kind of game
Why
is
are you
this?
asking
It is a story.
Is it story?
I'd say it's mostly
It's a story-based game.
Like,
It's-
what else would you call it? A walking simulator?
That's and basically it's a very interesting story-based game where you start off as this like person in an office, and then you open the door and everybody's like gone. And as you like progress in the office, there's a narrator who's like telling you like what's going to happen. But if you like the what happens in the game changes depending on whether you follow the narrator's directions or not.
Oh my gosh.
Have you ever played this?
No, that sounds so.
You would love this game, Andy.
I probably
Can I butt in for a second?
Yes.
Like, so, for example,
Can
one
I
of the
buy in? Is that what you said?
No, butt in.
No.
One of the biggest moments, or most iconic moments in this game is Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors. He went into the door on his left, and then you have a choice of going
Going
into
on the left or the right.
and that's like one of the most iconic moments of the game.
It's such a cool game. The only reason it's so low on the list is because there's a finite amount of endings or like ways it can go. And once you've done all of them, you're kind of
Yeah.
you like you've
Yeah.
it's not a charming enough story that you'd be like, I'm gonna play it. Like it's not a long enough story. Like you could probably get every single ending in like a day. Is if you really wanted to spend the time
Does
on
it
it.
cost money?
I think it does. I think it costs $10, maybe $15. It was on sale when I got it, I remember, and I was very happy with the price that I got it for. But it's a good game. I mean, it's definitely worth, and it's very, very fun. It's a fun game, and it's a very smart game. If
But
that
it's,
makes sense.
It's a type of game where if you watch a YouTube playthrough, you get a very similar experience.
That's another reason that it's so low. Is you could just watch a YouTube playthrough of it, and you'd be like, okay, that was cool. But there is something about controlling the game that's like really, and the narrator is a fantastically
yes,
funny character.
and it's just wacky and well designed.
Yeah, very well designed. Other number 10s.
All right, my number 10 is called Local Host, which is written in all caps. So Local Host.
Local host.
And there's
Sounds
no
like a
space.
Wi-Fi.
Yeah, it
that I
really
could connect
does.
to.
It is. I looked up the genre. I heard it described as adventure cyberpunk story game. What happens is it is the year 2088, I believe, and your job is to boot AIs in drives into this like robot shell. So the robot shell is just a body, but you boot the drives in there. They wake up in this robot body that they've never been in before, and your job is to erase the drives.
But you put them in there.
Well, you put them in there because it's your job to put them in there and erase them.
Oh.
But they're AIs. So they're aware of what's going on and you can talk to them and stuff. And
And then they're sad.
Mm-hmm.
well, some of them are bitter, some of them are, and basically the ending of the game depends on who you decide to erase and not, and why. Yeah, it's quite bleak. It also is one of the prettiest soundtracks I've ever
Really?
heard in a game. Like, can you look up localhost soundtrack or something? And
Host and I don't think we can play music on the podcast because it would be copyright.
oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, the game.
Name a
itself costs
song
$5.
off of it, James.
Purple.
Purple.
Well,
Purple.
each of the robot has like robots has different colored eyes and like a general different colored lighting.
There's 6 songs: workspace, purple, yellow, red, green, and cell phone.
Yeah, and each of the color songs plays for like each of the different computers, and it's a very contemplative game. It makes you think about what is life exactly. And one of the robots claims to have been human before. One of them is probably a virus that just was uploaded on the drive by accident and ate the other thing that was already there.
Oh, that's so interesting.
Yeah.
I like that.
And he's like, you can just put me back into the internet. I was there before, and no one will notice. Maybe I'll eat another program while I'm there.
That's so.
They all mention a different drive called Local, who is like a service bot. One of them was in love with her, probably. One of them is like, says she was a bitch who like stole his stuff. And you never really meet local. One of them claims to be local, but turns out to probably be a virus. It's very cool.
Where can I find this game
You
to
can
play?
find this game on itch.io. It's $4.99. And it's not very long. It took me about, like, 2 hours on vacation to play through as many endings as I felt comfortable with. I later played it a lot more when I adapted it to a theater play. But, yeah. The only...
Wait, was that the thing you did for your senior project?
It was not.
Oh, okay.
That was
Okay.
butterfly soup. But I thought about doing this for my senior project. And I thought about casting people in it. So, yeah, shout out to Chloe, Gabby, and Noam, who I imagined in the parts.
Awesome.
That's kind of weird.
I think I would have been local.
Never appears except in speech, and you just like walk on stage.
I just walk on stage and I
Walk on-
sexy and everyone's in love with me. I've stolen stuff.
Yeah.
All right.
Amazing.
So
James is number 10.
on to my number 10.
Yeah.
Another pretty obscure. All three of our 10s were like decently obscure.
Yeah, I
I'd
would say.
Not like really big popular titles.
Yeah.
My number 10, Costume Quest 1. Now
What is that?
a bit of background before I get into this game. And don't worry, I will get into this game. Don't worry, it's okay.
Let's get into it.
A long time ago, some of my very first video games experiences was when I would go over to my uncle's house, and he had a PS3 there, and I would just download like a bunch of demos of so many different games. And one of these games was Costume Quest 1, and when I played the demo for this game, I absolutely loved it.
What do you do in the game?
So, it's...
Is it a dress-up game?
I mean, you could call it a dress-up game, but I don't know...
Why'd you start crying?
It's okay. So the plot of this game basically goes like it's supposed to be a very like child like you're going through the experiences of a child on Halloween, just imagining like all these kind of spooky stuff that like is real. And if you talk to parents or adults, and it just seems like a normal night, but you're going through the night of Halloween through a child's perspective. And so basically, what happens is you play as the main character. Of a brother or a sister, and I'm gonna use the brother as an example because that's what I played as. So the brother and the sister are going out trick-or-treating, and the sister dresses up as a candy corn, like this giant candy corn, and they're like these like goblin troll things that have invaded the town and are stealing candy from everyone because in their home like universe, like candy is very valuable, and so they steal the sister because she's giant candy corn. And so so basically how it works is that
So bizarre.
each costume you get from, because it's Halloween, there are many different costumes you can get, or happen to be like you can
Power-ups.
yeah, like I wouldn't say power-ups, but like
Mario's fireball.
yeah, pretty much.
Like
Kind of
Samus's...
Zero suit.
No, she has like different suits,
Yeah.
like the
Oh,
phase-on suit
yeah.
and stuff that do
Okay.
different things.
Yeah, exactly like that. And so you can battle against like these troll goblin things, and with different costumes. Like your default costume is this like giant mecha robot that can like
That's a default?
yeah, that's the default one, and like you can super punch them and
I
like
love this game.
launch rockets out of your chest. And it's
Why would you need any other costume?
It's just super cool. Like there's like the Statue of Liberty. There's this giant French fry monster. There's like this knight in shining armor. There's so many really cool costumes, and this game just has a very childish whim. I didn't even explain how the combat works.
Yeah, is
This
it a platformer?
It's a turn-based RPG.
Huh. Like
and so-
Persona.
Yeah, sure.
See it come.
But personally, I just like how much like childish whim this game has, and it's just so fun being like a child on
Being
Halloween.
a French fry.
Being a French fry.
Have you ever seen a child dress up as a giant mecha knight for Halloween? Because I have not, and I'm
That was me
disappointed.
when I was 5.
Oh,
But yeah, going around trick-or-treating and battling monsters and just it you can totally imagine this being in your imagination when you were like 7 years old,
Yeah.
right? And I already mentioned I love RPGs, and it's
And
just
I
a
love
super
you.
fun experience for me.
Number 9 on his list is James.
James.
Shadow King.
Unfortunately, it wasn't a very long experience, and I could beat it in maybe 10 hours or so, just on a
kinda long.
casual
That's long
playthrough.
for
Well,
me.
comparatively to some of these other games, it is very, very short.
All right.
That's fair.
And so, if it had more,
It was a person you'd married,
yes.
but only 10th in line.
And there isn't really that much replay value
Okay.
to it. Like once you've done everything in the game, you've pretty much done everything.
All right.
There is a sequel, however, I didn't think it was as good as the first one.
Where can we play this game?
It's on Steam, it's on PS3, it's on PS4 as I just found out, and I think Xbox 360 and Xbox One. But I got it on Steam, and because that's the most convenient for me.
Fun. This podcast is not sponsored, by the way. On to my number 9. Half of my games are party games, guys, so you can't really judge me.
Arman is a party.
I am a partier. No, I just really like playing games with other people. Number 9 is Wii Sports Resort. Yeah.
Yeah!
I really played that game. I probably have the most hours of any game is probably on Wii Sports Resort or Wii Sports. I played that
Wow.
game so much. Like,
Some people have 1,000 hours in Skyrim, and you have 1,000
no,
hours
I
in
definitely have 1,000
Sports
hours in Wii Sports Resort.
That's so awesome.
I really loved that game. And Wii Sports also. I put Wii Sports Resort on here because I can only pick one from the series, and Resort just has more options.
I too love Wii
Um,
Sports.
Just a fun game. I love the Wii Sports Resort Island. I think if there was one fictional destination I had to go to, it would be Woohoo Island. Tons of great mini games. My favorites probably being archery. I love the plane flying game. I spent so many hours on the plane flying game, just exploring the island because I wanted to live there. 100-pin bowling is really fun. Basketball is really fun. All the games are really fun. The only reason it isn't higher is because it's. Oh, also Mii's are involved. I love the Mii's.
Who doesn't love Mii's?
A fair amount of people. I'm a little upset that
really?
Mii's are not as big a thing, especially on the new Nintendo Switch. Not new anymore, but the Nintendo Switch doesn't really have a Mii maker. It's kind of just hidden in the settings where you can make Mii's.
How do they do Mii's for Super Smash?
So yeah, in the settings you can go and make Mii's, but it's not
Okay.
there's not a thing like the Mii
Yeah, you don't
channel
have
or anything.
games.
Oh, that's sad.
Which is it's very sad. Anyway, Wii Sports Resort, wonderful game. Super fun to play with friends. I think a little underrated. But
Yeah.
definitely my number 9
Yeah.
of all video games ever.
Yay.
Awesome game.
Number 9.
Annie?
That's a Beatles reference. My number 9 is Dragon's Lair, which is an interactive film video game on Laserdisc.
What does that
So
mean?
that means that discs that
Oh,
you
that's right. You
not
showed me this.
DVDs that you put in a TV. So this
Like
is
a
basically
DVD.
you put a
D.
DVD in the game, you
Right.
take a remote, and it plays an animated movie of a knight on a quest to go save this princess from a dragon. And it's all animated. All the bad endings are animated, all the good endings are animated, and your goal is to get past this sequence of scenes to eventually get to the princess and save her. And it's all quick.
Oh,
time
it's like
events.
that Netflix
I don't know.
show that
Maybe.
the movie for that Bandersnatch.
Maybe.
Hall?
Anyway, you just do
I'm
quick
not
time
very
events.
experienced in
and
Netflix shows.
This
guys.
is a game where you die a
Me
lot.
neither.
It was originally an arcade game, but the Laserdisc version you don't have to put in another quarter every 15 times you die or whatever. So you get more used to the scenes over time. My favorite method to play is where you can mix up the scenes because I'm kind of familiar with the order already. So you can it'll just do the scenes in the castle in a random order, and you can just sort of practice and see if you can do it randomly. So yeah, there are a couple controls. You can go left, right, up, down, and use sword.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
and
Just a
it's-
lot of quick time events.
Yeah. It's just a lot of quick time events and a lot of very fun, funky animation, sort of Disney style, 80s.
that.
Yeah, cutesiness. It is a little sexist in its portrayal of the princess and but whatever. I don't expect a lot.
Awesome.
When was this game made?
It was made, I think, in the late 80s or early 90s. It was right on the edge of when people were going from
1983.
Okay. It was on the edge of
Go
when
back.
people were going from 2D to 3D games, and 3D games were really hard to program, so some people experimented by making 2D animations that you could move through. There weren't a lot of these games made, but it's unique because of that. Or something.
I like that.
Alright.
Yeah.
Moving on to my number 9, a very, very obscure game that I don't think anyone here has heard of. We have Minecraft.
What's that?
Minecraft is this 3D sandbox adventure game.
Okay, just tell us what you like.
So obviously, like, I think Minecraft has
Do you have a
been...
Minecraft girlfriend? Do you know what a Minecraft girlfriend is?
Did you have a Minecraft girlfriend?
No, I didn't play Minecraft growing
No,
up.
but I know a lot of people that have had Minecraft
I
girlfriends.
know a lot of people who have Minecraft girlfriends. Sorry, go on. Anyways.
Yeah, I think Minecraft has obviously been big part of a decent chunk of people's lives, and is right now just emerging as a popular game.
Surprisingly.
Surprisingly, it's a very, as most people say, you can
should
pretty
have
much.
risen earlier.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
He's stroking James' eye.
It was his hand.
And maybe you missed.
Maybe I missed.
As most people say, you can do pretty much anything you want in Minecraft.
Get a girlfriend.
Like to get a girlfriend. And
Breed mushroom
It's-
cows.
yeah, it's pretty much true.
Mushroom.
Like,
Mushroom.
there's something for everybody in Minecraft. But personally, the reason it's so low on my list is just playing through single player. While it can be fun, I'm not much of a builder, and I feel like building is a bigger aspect in Minecraft than the
And,
adventuring.
Like, the survival
Interesting.
mode, yeah.
And the as you'll see later, there are ways to do survival that are better. But
Like online versions and mods.
yeah, I was about to get into that.
I'm sorry.
Playing.
I don't know Minecraft very well, so I get excited when I know things about it.
This is a great seg.
Playing on-
Yeah, segue.
Playing on multiplayer servers with my friends have created so many great memories. I think I've honestly spent like 10 times as much of time on multiplayer servers than I have on single player, just in a regular world. Shoutouts to Hypixel. That server, I've
What about Pixelmon?
that's a mod.
I'm gonna shut up now.
Yeah, I've through so many Discord calls, I've spent so much time on that server, and it's just been so much fun. And with the modding community, I used to be so into mods, and you can do literally anything with mods. There are so many fantastic mods on Minecraft out there.
Emphasis on fan.
James
James is a fan of the fantastic mods.
But yeah, I think if you include mods with Minecraft, then it becomes so much of a better game than it
James,
already
what
is.
is like a mod that you recommend for everyone?
Other than Pixelmon, because I mentioned that already.
Oh god, there's so many that come to mind. I think they're very classic mods that are used in most mod packs, such as Tinker's Construct.
Is Minecraft the Hunger Games a mod?
No,
No, that's a
they're survival games, which is
game
like
you can play on
Yeah.
several servers.
I liked Minecraft the Hunger Games. I played it on my brother's account once, and I did really well.
Good for you.
Thank you.
The highest I ever got was like number 4.
Oh.
Yeah.
But as for a more
Third to last.
obscure mod that isn't used in as many mod packs, I'd say the Aether mod. Very good mod in alpha, probably the best mod arguably that was ever released in Minecraft's alpha days, and recently remastered into newer versions, and it's absolutely fantastic, and I recommend you check that out.
Yay.
Didn't understand any of that.
I got like 20%.
I'm a Minecraft nerd, you guys.
Okay.
I failed that test. Yeah.
Onto what number?
8.
Yeah, 8.
Come on.
8. My 8 is Mario Kart for the Wii.
Yet another.
Party
game.
Nintendo party game is gonna be 50% of this list, maybe more. I really like Mario Kart Wii. I've played Mario Kart Wii, Mario Kart Double Dash, Diddy Kong Racing, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Mario Kart 8. Mario Kart Wii was always the one that I liked the most. I like the... Ooh, what is it called? Not the mechanics, but like the movement in that game is very good. I like the movement in that game a lot more than all the other games. Although Mario Kart Double Dash was also very good in its movement. But Mario Kart Wii was the one that I just became most comfortable with. I really don't like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe that much. The only thing I like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe for is for its battle modes. Those are the only things that it's good for, I think. I think the racing in general is farly inferior to Mario Kart Wii. I think most people agree with me on that. The only reason it's so low on the list is because, to some extent, you become so good at Mario Kart Wii, you and your friends, that every race is kind of just dependent on who gets a blue shell at the last second. But I love playing this with my family. We have a family track, which is Coconut Mall. That's our family's favorite track. And yeah, Mario Kart Wii. Shout out to the character, my main in that game, Bubba the Mii. Again, another game with Miis. I love Miis. Miis need to be in more games.
They do. They
Parable.
definitely do.
Stanley Parable needs Miis. The only game on here that does not involve Miis.
Wow.
On so far. Not
So far.
So far. That would be impressive if I got only Mii games.
Okay.
All right, Annie Leonard.
My number 8 game is Butterfly Soup, which is a free-to-play visual novel. It was my senior project, for those of you who saw my senior project.
She wrote an epic play on it.
I did not write it. I pretty much just adapted the dialogue straight from the game.
She wrote an epic play.
Okay, and I think it's about, like, a bunch of high school girls. They're all Asian because they live in, like, a 90% Asian... They go to a 90% Asian school or something, which is... Gun is, like, 40%. It's not on that level. It's a whole next level of Asianness. Part of the reason many people enjoy it is because the characters displayed in it, for one thing, they're all Asian females. Another, they all live in the Bay Area, and lots of Bay Area.
Oh, I didn't know that.
They live in Oakland, yeah. And, yeah, awesome quotes. James just pulled up a quote that says, I'm gay, I'm gay, I'm gay. So another theme in it is queer. All the characters are queer, but not all of them know it yet. A lot of it is like word of God. And there's like a really cute relationship between two characters. So, if you're part of the groups represented in the game, who aren't often represented in just kind of a happy sense, a lot of games that involve gay characters make them either villains or like give them kind of sad, angsty existences, which is good to portray, but it's also good to portray happy stories with these characters.
Just all stories with these characters.
All stories. And I read some comments on her devlog of people who had played the game who like were Asian women or gay or
Both.
queer and they were like, wow, I had a lot of fun playing this game and I learned a lot from it, which is cool.
Wow.
It's like a sort of stepping into another existence for a while. And part of what I love about this game is the awesome dialogue. Something Brianna Lay, who made the game, she's like a...
Dialoguist.
Yeah, well, yeah. She has really funny dialogue. She said something about her characters that was like, if you want to make entertaining characters, don't try to make them realistic. Take what you think is very, like, distinctive about them and hype them out as much as possible.
That's
like,
smart. I like
emphasize that, because people can be very crazy, and it won't be unrealistic. So there's one where they're like, oh no, Noelle's going emo. I knew it, it's the black hair. And someone just super done says, we all have black hair.
That's so funny. I love that.
Yeah. And the other gay thing, one character is trying to figure out if she's gay, and she's like, maybe I'm like lesbian girls? What? She can't even say it. And then she like meets her long lost friend who she hadn't seen in years, and her friend like tackles her to the ground, and they had this whole like cute like dynamic when they're kids. They have cool timeline
Is
flashbacks.
that when there goes, I'm
yeah,
gay, I'm gay,
yeah,
I'm gay.
and then she goes, I'm gay, like when she's tackled to the ground by
Amazing.
her long lost friend.
Awesome.
So yeah, fun game,
Fun
empathetic
games.
game, super great dialogue, some dark content that somehow fits in well. Yeah, really emotional.
All right, James, you're number 5, please.
My number 5? Whoa, we're skipping a little. I guess you don't want to hear my list, do you?
I do, but I'm going to spoil it all before we get through it.
My number 8 on my list.
His number 1 is Tony Hawk's Pro Skater.
My number 1 is Tony Hawk's Pro Skater.
The first one.
No, the second one.
Oh, okay, so tell us
my number 8 is Super Mario Galaxy 2.
Yahoo!
Another big game of people's childhoods and a huge part of my life in general.
Have you played number 1?
I have played. I've played both.
Can I say something interesting?
Yes.
Did you know that one of the 2 ways to unlock Rosalina and Luma in Mario Kart Wii was if you had a save file for Mario Galaxy
Really?
on your Wii?
I did not know that. I feel like I would know that, but I did not. That's interesting.
Isn't that interesting?
That is very interesting. I'm gonna have to write that one down. Anyways.
For what?
It's just, don't worry about it.
Oh! I have to get my waifu in Mario Kart.
But yeah, this was the very first game I played on the Wii. When we first bought the Wii, our Wii, and when I was like 8 or 9 years old, the first 2 games we got were Super Mario Galaxy 2 and Wii Fit Plus. Both very different, but both very awesome. And so this game has been a part of my childhood ever since then. It has
Who's your favorite character?
my favorite character. There are not many characters to choose from, but
Well.
definitely Lubba. Lubba's a great guy.
That's the pink.
No, it's
Is
the
that the purple
giant
captain?
purple one.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
not pink.
Well, he's like fuchsia.
What? He's dark purple, my friend.
Why is this a debate?
No. I have to show him this right now. This is dark purple. This is 100%.
Arman was wrong.
Yeah, I was very wrong. It's okay. I only know the spirit
I think
from
you
Smash
might
Bros.
be
Ultimate.
thinking of
Okay.
the pink stars that you feed a bunch of star bits to make them turn into.
Oh,
galaxies.
the cosmic lumas. That's
Yeah.
right.
That might be it.
But yeah, this game, another game with a beautiful soundtrack. One of my favorites.
James's
not
eyes
the
are
favorite.
so wide right now talking about the soundtrack. You have no idea. I just saw him look at the screen and he's just like, boing!
Guys, I really love video game music. If you didn't know that about me, I only listen to video game music.
You know what I've been listening to a lot lately?
What?
Instead of like regular music, is the Spider-Man PS4 game soundtrack
Ooh.
that recently came out.
I hear
like
some
that.
of you judging me out there, and to you I say,
Listen to some video game music while you work.
that
Oh,
and
yeah,
also,
great motivation.
So good.
you know people that only listen to musicals. So, and this is basically the same thing. So, screw you if you're judging me.
That was good. That was good. I like that.
Also, when James first met me, one of the first things he asked me to do was he gave me this sheet music from video games and asked me to play it on the
That
piano.
was beautiful, by the way. Thank you so
I-
much
I
for that.
did.
It was awesome.
I
Awesome
was
times.
judging you a little bit, though.
Well,
And
Too
now
bad.
are you?
Um,
Yes.
No, he's turned me around. I see the light now. I don't know.
All right.
But
On
yeah.
to number 7, unless you want to say something else.
oh, I mean, it's just a fantastic game. Very, very
Why
fun.
did you pick it over number 1?
Why did I pick it over number 1? It's under number 1.
Why is it... What?
If it was over number 1, that means it's better.
It would be better. Yeah. Number 0.
It's Mario Galaxy 2 that you put on there, right?
Oh, you meant,
Oh,
oh.
Yeah, wait. Why did
I
it
thought you
sound
meant
like-
number 1 on my list.
Oh, no. Why is Super Mario Galaxy 2 on the list and not Super Mario Galaxy 1?
They're both very fantastic games, but because I got this one first, it has more of a nostalgia effect for me.
I see.
Wise words. Well then.
Number 7.
That's you.
My number 7 is Mario again, but instead Tennis Aces for the Nintendo Switch. Most underrated game on? No, not most underrated game on here. Great, fantastic game with amazing mechanics, beautiful animations, fun characters, a great character roster, just really good gameplay. It's a fun game, and it you can play it just very casually with your friends, or you can go a lot deeper and be like a pro gamer at this game. I'm a little surprised that this doesn't have like a competitive scene. Because it's kind of really good.
Interesting.
It's so good. I don't even know what else to say. It's a tennis game, but you get to move around. You can do with doubles, and you have different types of shots and different. And you have to work with meter management, which if you don't know what that is, but it's like when you have a meter of like power and of power ups or like different like power moves that you can do, and you have to manage yours based on the other person's and when you want to use what. And it's really great, very well designed, and not played enough for how well it's designed. It's only so low on the list because I haven't played as much of it as some of these other games, or I don't think it's like as important to play as some of these other games. But definitely a good game. I think if it was just sorry, I keep interrupting you. I think if it was just
so you apologize to her, but not me.
no. I think if it was just a little bit, if it was a little bit cheaper, I think more people would get it and play it. But it is worth the $60. Annie, what were you gonna say?
Oh, I was wondering if you'd. Okay. I think you should start the esports scene.
The
for
esports
this
scene?
game.
Maybe I will. I'm gonna start a Mario Tennis Aces club at my college.
God.
Oh, heck yeah.
Let's play it on our. Oh, actually, we can talk about that at the end of this video. This is a perfect video to talk about that.
Okay.
Number 7, Annie.
My number 7. So, James has said that I have a lot of story-based games on my list. This is the most epic story-based game I have ever played. It is called Donkey Konga 1.
Yeah!
What's unique about this game is you have to buy your own sort of controller for it. It's a wooden set of
It's like
bongos that
in
you,
Mario
you need to
Mario
hit to
Kart, you
play
have the
game.
The wheel for
yeah,
the
you have the
the
wheel.
thing.
This is the drums. And people think they're actual bongos, but they're disappointed.
Do you know that you could mod
Could mod
somehow?
the
No,
bongos?
not mod the bongos, but you could somehow
use
make
them as
it,
real controllers.
use them as real controllers for Super Smash Bros. For the Wii U.
Somebody beat Dark Souls with the Donkey Konga.
That's amazing.
But also somebody's beat Dark Souls with a bunch of bananas, so it's not as impressive when you think about
Like
that.
just a bunch of real bananas.
Yeah.
And no controller?
Well, like the bananas were hooked up to like
That's
the computer.
fucking crazy. Did he have to like replace them if they got old?
I think so.
Wow.
Annie, why don't you talk about
Oh,
Donkey Konga?
Well, the story is, Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong are on a beach, and they come across some barrels, and they're afraid that these barrels might be a trap from King K. Rool. So they go to consult Cranky Kong, and Cranky Kong says, "No, these are bongos. You need to learn to play them." I don't know why he says that, but he says they do need to, and they're like,
It's
"That's
part of that
yeah.
ultimate story.
yeah." And then Donkey and Diddy are like, "Well, that sounds really hard." And then he's like, "But you'll get money if you get really good at them." And he's like, "Wow, we can buy so many bananas with that money. We better become really good at the bongos." And that's the extent of this incredible story. The rest of the game is just playing through 30 different tracks from various Donkey Kong games. And my personal favorite track is the DK rap.
Ugh. DK Crew!
Absolutely amazing song in video game history.
Yeah.
I'm guessing this game is the game equivalent of out of print. You probably need to buy it used or like on Craigslist or something. I don't
definitely
know.
Probably.
But definitely
Probably.
consider it.
Mm-hmm.
Also, play it with friends. Have one per drum.
Ugh, yes.
Yeah.
All right.
James?
My number 7, maybe you've heard of this, maybe not. I get very different
Who are you
perceptions.
talking to?
The people, obviously,
The audience.
The audience.
We have a big fan base, Annie.
of
Okay.
like 30,000 people, don't you know?
And mostly just Nadia. Shout outs to
Shout out to
Nadia.
Nadia.
Yeah.
I love Nadia.
But yeah, I've talked to a lot of people about this, and they say, "Oh yeah, I played that like one a long time ago for a few minutes." Realm of the Mad God.
Or Rot MG.
It's pronounced. Well, you can pronounce it that way, but I usually pronounce it Rodham. Or well,
Your way was
I usually,
better.
Actually, I usually just call it Realm.
I call Mario Tennis Aces MTA.
MTA.
It's like GTA, but M.
Okay.
Thank you. Let's talk about Rotmg.
Wait, sorry, did I say Rotmg?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said it's supposed to be Rotmeg, not Rotmg.
Yeah, you really just Rotmg.
Sorry.
Rotmeg. Okay.
Rotmeg.
Go on. What is Rotmeg?
Rotmeg
Is
is
it a tennis
it's
party
not
game?
a tennis party game, unfortunately.
How could you put it on your top 10 list?
It is another MMORPG, but what's unique about this one is that it's a 8-bit bullet hell
Why is this so funny?
MMORPG. And so basically it progresses as your normal MMORPG does. You defeat monsters, collect loot, level up, become stronger, and fight stronger and stronger monsters.
Yes.
And you just collect shinier and shinier loot.
What is your favorite class?
My favorite class right now, I'd have to say it's probably Warrior because of his versatility.
How do you know it's a he?
Because the lore says it's a he. There's some skins that are there's like a princess warrior that's a she, but like default warrior is a he.
Be a princess warrior.
And it's just it plays along as your regular MMORPG does. But for some reason this game has really sucked me in. I think a big part of that is that it's technically free to play. Although there are many microtransactions in the game.
Have you ever microtransaction?
I have.
For something good?
Yes.
What did you get?
Well, the main thing in this game that you buy using money is pet food because pets are very powerful in this game.
Really?
Yeah, they give you like immense power-ups and help you survive a lot easier than if you had no pets.
Thanks, pets.
Yeah. And so I don't.
Shout out to pets.
And also there are like vaults that you can like store items in that you only get.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah.
I played this game very briefly as a kid, so this is actually one of the games that I know about a little bit.
You just said the exact thing his audience said. I played this game for a few minutes.
I know, I played this game for like a good month.
Nice.
And then my account got deleted. So then I was sad.
Nice.
Accounts don't randomly get deleted. That's weird.
I think it might have gotten stolen.
Oh,
Because I got a really rare item at some point. I know people who really...
really?
I forget what it was.
Okay. Well, okay.
Why are you suspicious of that?
I don't know. Whatever.
I couldn't access my account. That was sad. And I cried.
But yeah, this game.
I didn't cry. I was just sad though.
I technically discovered this game back in like 3rd grade, but I didn't play it back then. I just saw it in an ad. And then back in 6th grade, I was introduced this game by my 6th grade buddies, and I've just been playing until now.
Is it still going strong?
It is still, the game is still going strong. I'm currently in a hiatus, but my account, according to Realmi, the website that tracks all accounts in this game, my account was created 5 years and 31 days ago.
Wow.
And also,
You are pretty famous.
what do you mean?
You're the 16th... You're the 1600th almost most famous person in this game.
That's not a lot, but
I don't know
thank
what
you.
that means.
Well, how many people play this game?
1600.
Well, I mean, that's not that notable. I'm just, yeah.
There's something that says rank 70.
anyways.
That sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm not gonna get into the specifics of the game here, because we are already running on 1 hour.
Yeah,
and
we're at 1 hour. We're not even halfway through.
Yeah.
And according to this website, I have over 13,000 hours in this game, which comes out to
Holy shit!
or not 13,000. Sorry, that was way more than 1,300. 13,000. 1,300.
100% of 5 years.
1300 is also still a lot.
Which comes out to 54 days and 15 hours.
Okay,
Total.
but multiplied by 10, that would have been 540 days of stream
Oh my god.
which is like 2 years almost out of 5.
But I mean, I've been playing
Anyway.
this game for 5 years now, so and this isn't even like
So 10 days per year.
Yeah,
Sorry.
pretty
I
much.
love the idea of James spending 40% of his waking days playing this game. Like at school.
I gotta get pet food!
But yeah.
Oh my god.
But in the grand scheme of things, like I haven't even spent that much time on this game compared to some of the people in this community. Like they're hardcore people in this community, and it's very scary how many hours some people put into this game.
Like 13,000.
Yeah, there are people that have spent like so much time and so much money. Thankfully I've only spent like $20 or $30, but there are people that have spent thousands of dollars on this game. But yeah,
1 Bitcoin.
I actually don't think, like, after playing for so long, I don't think it's a very good game. Like, the core gameplay loop gets very stale after.
Yeah, that's... I will agree with that. If you don't get hooked very, very quickly, it does get kind of stale.
It gets stale very quickly. The other thing that's unique about this game is that it's permadeath. So if you die on your character, you lose all your items and all the progress on that character.
Oh.
Why?
I didn't know that.
Do you keep anything from playthrough to playthrough?
Yes, there like I mentioned earlier, there's a vault where you can store your items in, and your pets.
What happens
also.
to your items? They just disappear?
On your character?
Yeah.
They just completely disappear.
So like Minecraft.
Well, in Minecraft you can pick them back up.
Yeah. Like in Minecraft, but you die in lava.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
And
like in real life when you die in lava.
Or
awesome.
Anywhere.
But yeah, this game has sucked a lot of hours out of my life, and I don't even think it's that good. But I'm just very hooked.
But it's number 7 on your top 10 list of video games.
Well, I mean, I've spent the most time on this.
You put it over Epic Mickey.
I did put it over Epic Mickey.
Alright, let's move on to number 6 if we're all okay.
Yeah.
Number 6 for me is Kirby Superstar Ultra for the Nintendo DS.
Yay!
I was surprised when I was making this list. I was kind of like, I thought about games that I played, and I was like, wait, this game is so good. And I really liked this game. Very fun, cute Kirby story. I think it's a remastered version of Superstar, I believe. I think Kirby Superstar was a game, and this is a remastered version of it. With more things. There's a bunch of different like mini games. There's a version where you could play through the story of one of them with just as one of the friends you can make. So you can like in the game you can like swallow people and get their powers, but then you can also make an ally out of that power instead and then get a power yourself. And there's a mode where you can just have the power, which is really cool. And there's also a mode where you can play as Meta Knight, which is really fun. That was my favorite mode. The movement in that game is really fun. I really like controlling it on the DS. I don't know why I really like doing that. I still play it through over and over again. It's really fun. Definitely if you're thinking of playing one of the older Kirby games, this is the one I think you should play. It's really good. And the difficulty is not high, as most Kirby games are.
Arman, have you unlocked the hardest mode?
In Kirby Superstar Ultra? Yes.
I forgot what it's called. Like, Millennium something?
Millennial?
I think that is not in this version.
Oh.
But I did unlock the hardest mode. I don't think I've played it yet.
Okay. I can't get far enough in the arena to unlock that game. But
is this Kirby Superstar Ultra?
Yeah, it should be.
Oh, do you mean the one where you fight all the bosses?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I haven't unlocked
There's
that.
the one where you fight all the bosses, and then there's another one that's ranked even harder than that. And I haven't unlocked that one, and I assume it's because I haven't gotten far enough in the one where you fight all the bosses.
I cannot remember. I apologize.
But whatevs.
But yeah, I love playing as the different just power versions of people because I like learning all the moves of different things. It's very fun.
That's why I like Smash.
Yeah, it's almost like it's very similar to Smash. Almost there are different like moves and things. The boss fight system is in Brawl. Sakurai is a creator of Kirby. He's also one of the creators of Smash, like, the creator of Smash Bros. So there's a lot of things taken over from that. Even the way you play like Subspace Emissary, it's very much like a Kirby level. Actually, now that I think about it, it's almost exactly like Kirby levels. Number 6. Number 6,
yeah.
Annie.
Number
Talking
6
about Kirby
is
for
an
too much.
Interactive novel. If you've ever heard of text adventures, they're like that, but instead of typing in what you want to do, you select what you want to do out of a couple of choices.
It's like a multiple choice.
It's like
quiz.
a choose your own adventure book. If you've ever done those. So, except what your choices affect your stats, which allow the stats to affect the story more. So instead of like, oh, you're on this path, now we have to like branch out that path more and more. It's sort of like branching and reconnecting and branching and reconnecting. So, Pendragon Rising, I picked, there are a lot of great games by Choice of Games who create these style of like interactive fiction, but I picked Pendragon Rising in particular not because it's necessarily the strongest like lore-wise or the most like engaging writing, though it is pretty strong on both those levels, but because there's a character who I just love so much, named Emrys/Illyri, based on which gender they are. Illyri is my personal favorite. And I heard they're based off of Merlin. It's theorized that like
cool.
Emrys could be Merlin in the old like Arthurian lore. This game takes place, you are Arthur basically.
Oh, I like
taking over the kingdom. And Illyria's like a huge nerd, basically. She's like spent all of her life
She's Merlin.
traveling and picking up like, and she's not really
You wanna
magical,
scoot your
but
chair
she,
back?
I'm just like adjusting my legs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she spent all of her life learning about like different chemistry things and medicine things. So instead of casting spells, she manages to like there's one time where she managed to ward off like someone who's attacking her and trying to kill her, and she does it by setting off an explosion from her hands, and her hands get severely burned, and she just goes like, "A trick I learned at such and such place. I believe I have burned my fingers," and collapses. And I'm like,
Oh, no.
she's so badass though. I love her. Yeah.
Amazing.
Also, the romance between your character and her, if you have it, is really subtle, which I like, because really over the top romance scenes in literature make me kind of
Gag.
uncomfortable. Yeah, and it's very subtle. You have to kind of, it's a blink and you might miss it thing.
That's good. I like that.
Yeah.
Nice.
And the scene in which you find out that she might like you is really cute. She's like doing astrology
Wow.
and like
As
putting
most
your
people-
names together,
Right.
and then you're like,
Oh, that's cute.
You believe in astrology? And she's like, well, no, but I don't believe in I don't like to dismiss something unless I've tried it for myself.
That's cute.
Well, moving on to my
I
number
like that. I'm
6.
gonna play that.
Yeah, it costs money. Sorry,
I'll-
it's like $5.
I'll find some money
Yeah.
somewhere.
And adding to the crippling burden of
Burden of college
debt is $5.
is Pendragon Rising.
Crazy.
Moving on to my number 6, is Terraria by Relogic.
Fake Minecraft for some people, but you put it
Oh,
above Minecraft.
screw you
No, I'm
then.
saying for some people.
Okay.
I haven't played either
Screw
game. I can't-
those people then.
and you put it above Minecraft.
I
Tell
have
us,
put it
tell
above
us, Tell us
Minecraft.
why.
Okay, so
How could anything rank above Minecraft?
Especially Team Fortress 3.
that says 2. There's no Team Fortress 3.
And you messed up the joke that I had.
Okay.
That it was not a real game.
Oh, okay. So
James's number 1 is Bendy and the Ink Machine.
How
all
How
right.
does
So
it go?
Terraria is actually on
perfectly
Steam.
pristine, eco-friendly.
On Steam, Terraria is actually my second most played game,
Really?
clocking in at
How many
about
hours?
I think about 170 hours by now.
Do you have Steam on your Chromebook? You can't, right?
You can't.
How do you
no.
have Steam? What
On my
computer?
regular computer.
Got it.
You thought he only had a Chromebook?
And so, for reference, by the way, I know like 1,300 hours on Realm like doesn't. Well, it sounds like a lot, but it's like hard to visualize. All of my games on Steam, when you put their hours together, don't even come like halfway to 1,300 hours. Like, I've spent 170 hours on Terraria, and on another game on this list, I've spent about 200 hours. And there are several games where I've spent like 30 or 40 hours on each of them. And several of them are
I think
on
I
this
know
list.
which one. I'm not gonna say it.
But yeah, it doesn't even come halfway. So that's just a small reference point as to how much time I've spent with Realm of the Mad God. Anyways, Terraria is a lovely, lovely game. As I said with Minecraft, I enjoyed it much more for its survival aspect than its like building aspect, and I think Terraria does a much, much better job of in its survival aspect than Minecraft, and it just like the sense of progression that you get is developed so well. Like you build up everything and you finally go to defeat the wall of flesh, and then suddenly everything's in hard mode, and
Suddenly everything's in hard mode.
you kind of reset back to 0.
Okay.
Uh,
Sorry.
is okay then.
Nothing.
Cool. And yeah, it's just the sense of progression and like weapons and gear and armor that you get is very satisfying and very, very fun to play through. Especially when you play through with friends. It's a lovely experience when you go through with that. And I just love it because it takes what Minecraft survival wants to be and just does it very, very well.
So it's a more survival based game than its creation.
Yeah,
And
I'd
that's what
say
you
so
like.
personally.
Is this a 2D game?
This is a 2D
Yeah,
game,
okay.
yeah. And it takes like that 2D aspect and it flows with it really, really well.
That's good.
And yeah, it's just the whole game is very smooth and just designed extremely well. And I know there is a cool modding community for this game, but I haven't touched it quite as much as I have Minecraft, and so I can't really comment on that. And yeah, it's just a cool game that I put a lot.
Would you recommend people play Terraria instead of Minecraft?
Oh yes, definitely. If you feel like you played Minecraft and you felt like there's something missing from it, I think Terraria is a game for you.
Terraria or Terraria?
I say Terraria, but I've heard both.
I'm gonna go with you because you're the gamer. Of Terraria.
You were the creator of Terraria.
Oh, number 5.
Number 5.
Number 5. We're gonna try and speed things up. We're sorry, everybody, but we do have 3 people who are giving top 10. So
This is true.
yeah,
We're not
take
doing
that into
bad.
account. We're doing really good.
Yeah.
We're doing really good. I think we're giving a lot of good information on this podcast. Let's talk about our podcast first now.
Wait, what?
I was making a joke if we're just gonna take a dive.
Well, it
down.
wasn't
Thank
funny.
you for clarifying. Well, this is awkward. Anyway.
Number 5 on my list is another game with me's in it. It's Metopia.
Wow.
I'm surprised it isn't your favorite.
It's very good. It's
If it's not
all my top 5 are very close to each other in how much I love them. It was very hard to rank the top 5 from 1 to 5. Everything afterwards had a clearer ranking, but the top 5 are very like, I wouldn't say interchangeable, but it was like very difficult to put them in the ranking that it is. Metopia is a RPG. It's a turn-based RPG. I want to call it a turn-based RPG. We're looking it up on.
Do you have like?
I'd
do you
say it's
pick
an-
a
I mean,
class
I think
and
it's an
fight
RPG.
people and-
Yeah, you have classes and you
Yeah,
level up. And
okay.
Turn-based RPG, and you can just make a bunch of me's and you can put them into the story, and you can like. I have a bunch of. I always make my whole like family because I'm very close with them on my as my me's, and so I make them like different parts of the story and like different party members that you meet along the way, and you get to try different classes, and it's a very charming game. It has solid replayability, or not replayability, but like after you finish the final boss, there's like a solid.
Yeah, you go
Gameplay
as
that
another
you can do.
person or another class.
But yeah, you can try doing different classes. There's still quests that you can do, and you can get new people onto your team and stuff, and different monsters that you can find, different snacks that you can discover and things. It's a very fun game.
Different snacks.
Yeah, different food for your party to feed them.
Oh.
Yeah, and you
Okay.
can build up relationships with different people. Not necessarily romantic. They kind of like have it at like a weird fine line between like if you want it to be
boy.
romantic or if you want it to be just friends. So yeah,
Yeah, it's a hard line.
epic game.
If any of you watch Alpharad, his series on Metopia was one of my favorite series
Oh yeah,
of him.
good game. Also, Metopia has fantastic music. Talking about video game music, very fun music. The Quizmaster music, especially, is really good.
Yeah, I really enjoyed when Alpharad played through it. It seemed
Yeah.
like a fun game.
It's for the 3DS, so it's also apparently hard to find. I think they didn't make that many copies of it. I remember when it like first came out, it was very difficult for me to find it at GameStop. I found it at Walmart behind some games on the shelf.
Oh.
And I was like, hey, can I have that game? And they were like, no. And I was like, why?
What?
It's right there. And I was like, and then they were like, okay, fine, you can have it. And then I bought it.
Is that allowed?
Yeah, I know.
Like it's on the shelf and
I think they were kind of like, oh, we don't want
it's like the.
to sell it
Yeah. It's
Why?
like the
because they
pepper
want to keep it for
situation.
themselves or something.
Oh.
They play it at Walmart every night after they close.
Anyway, really, really good game. It's really charming. It's really fun. Shout out to Gary being the final boss.
Yeah, Gary.
Yeah, Gary Mopmans. I don't think he listens. I'm gonna make him listen to this one. All right, Annie Leonard, what's your number 5? What's your 5th favorite movie? Not.
My 5th favorite movie is probably Big Hero 6, but whatever.
Oh, good choice.
I just picked that kind of randomly, actually. It might actually be.
That should have been on my top 10,
That is a
honestly.
good movie.
Anyway,
watch that.
my top 5 favorite game is Papers, Please by Lucas Pope. It is an indie
Whoa!
document thriller. Your job is this thrilling
Wait, what's the genre of the game first? What do you do in the game?
document thriller.
What does that mean?
That means puzzle simulation according to Wikipedia.
There you go.
Okay.
So puzzle because your job is to take people's documents and figure out if they're valid and then approve or deny their entry. But it's
Like
a
an
little
immigration.
like an immigration
Yeah, exactly
officer.
like an immigration
Yeah, you're at the
officer.
border between. It takes place in the 1970s in this like fictional Cold War
Or
era
Stotsta.
second world country called. It's called Arstotzka, yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Do you know this game?
Yes.
Why do I not know this game? Should I know
It's,
this
it's
game?
a pretty obscure game.
Okay.
It's
I mean, I wouldn't call it
relatively
obscure, but it's a pretty indie game.
And it's not just like, oh, you're checking documents and seeing if they're right or wrong, what fun. The point is, some people have family in your country, some people are like wanted criminals and they'll try to bribe you to get through.
Interesting.
And then like at one point, I won't go into too much detail, but a mysterious group comes along and they don't actually go
Ooh.
through, but they like give you stuff and you can choose whether to like cooperate or not. And there are many endings. There's like 20 endings in the
So there
game.
is an end game.
There is an end game. It's
Okay.
like 20 days of. It feels very crammed because they take what would really be the work of like 2 years and cram it all into like 20 days of.
Is it on Steam?
it is on
Yes,
Steam.
it's on
I
Steam.
want this game.
And the best character is Georgi Kostava. He is hilarious.
This guy is the best character in
Yeah.
the
This is
whole
the main
game.
character?
No, it's not the main
no,
character.
he's one of the people who comes by your booth, but unlike the other characters who usually just come by, go through, or get rejected and never come back, he comes back several times
Yeah.
over the course
The
of
first time
day.
he comes, he has literally no documents.
Documents?
The second time he
Yeah.
comes with
Our
like a
stuff's
very
got-
clearly
yeah.
faked, written down.
Written in crayon.
Yeah, written in
He
crayon.
claims it's from Bestberg.
I really
Cobra
like this. I
Style.
really want to play this game.
Yeah.
It's
There's
very
a film adaptation?
yes
There
there
is
is.
a film adaptation.
It's
by-
like fan made.
Yeah, I've been told that this
Is
game
it-
actually resonates with people who grew up in like Cold War era Russia and
Interesting.
Eastern Europe because the creators of that movie are Russian. They're
There's this
Russian.
fake-
And
Is the
whole
movie
thing
any good?
The movie is in
Oh, it's
Russian.
lovely.
It's beautiful.
It's
Yeah,
so lovely.
It's really good.
I'm
it's
gonna
like
play
it's
this
a
game.
short film. It's like I don't know how long it is, half an hour. This is another
but it has
game-
like 20 endings,
Yeah.
so it has a lot of replayability.
the game, not
Yeah.
the movie.
No,
I'm
yeah, sorry.
definitely playing this game.
Yeah, it is quite amusing and lit soundtrack times. It's
Yeah.
Wow.
yeah, it's fun.
I recommend if you like dystopian stories. It's
I
a,
do.
It's a
Yeah.
very lovely game.
I don't, but I still liked it a lot.
But yeah, it's like
Recent reviews are overwhelmingly positive.
Wow.
Also, just to like plug Lucas Pope, he's a really cool guy. Worked on like some of the early Naughty Dog games, including on like Uncharted 3 or
Oh,
something
Return of the
like
Obra Dinn. You also talked about this game.
Yeah, I love Return of the Obra Dinn. That's his most recent one. He's like, this one's gonna be shorter. It'll take me like 6 months. Takes 5 years and releases this amazing game. And that one is a murder mystery that takes place on a boat. Also amazing.
Also
not
a
nearly
lovely game.
as replaced and not nearly as replayable as Papers, Please, because
Not
murder
as famous
mysteries, once you
either,
figure out the
sadly.
story, you can't replay them. But they're both beautiful. I didn't include Return of the Obra Dinn because I am someone intensely frustrated by puzzles. Something where you can just get good at the mechanics, like examining documents, is much more my speed,
Oh, I see. Okay.
rather than like.
Oh, and you have to feed your. Did you mention you have to feed your family?
You do have to feed your family.
Oh.
You have to pay for food and medicine. And
And heat.
heat. So the best way to get through that is to alternate food and heat by days.
Yes.
And
And you make money by like processing
because
people.
medicine costs less than doing food and heat for your family every day
Mm-hmm. Okay.
if
Anyways,
they get sick.
so my number
And they
5.
can die if you don't feed them.
Kind of a very big contrast to this bleak dystopian game. We have Kirby's Return to Dreamland.
Woohoo!
By HAL Laboratories. What?
I should have included that. That's funny.
What's the one? It's true.
It's not funny. I thought it was interesting that you talk about Kirby's.
Kirby's Return to Dreamland is another game that I owned for the Wii way back when.
It's on the Wii.
Yes, on the Wii.
Oh, it is. Oh, it is. It is.
on?
Never mind. I was thinking
It's
of a
on
different
the
game.
Wii.
One of 2 Kirby games I own for the Wii, the other being Kirby's Epic Yarn, which is unfortunately did not make it on this list.
Aw.
But I really like this game. Seemingly, like, I did not expect to like this game as much as I did. Like, Super Mario Galaxy 2 is like a huge part of my childhood. And this isn't quite as much as, like, big in my childhood, but it was just so much fun. And like over like recent years, I've been going back to my old Wii games and trying to 100% each of them.
I feel.
And this was like my top game. Like I always felt like I really want to play Return to Dreamland right now. Like, and it wasn't even like because I gotta finish up this game and like finally finish it, but like I was just like,
Yeah, you
this
wanna
was really fun and I want to keep playing. And like I don't know, it's just Kirby games always have like that charm of like you can have so many different powers and like beat up enemies in any certain way. And like obviously it's not like a full-on fighting game where you have to have like so much skill to be able to like beat your opponents, but it's just like fun to mess around with the different powers and like beat enemies in certain ways. And what I like about this is actually like you have like a health bar system, so if you like get hit a few times, it's not the end of the world, and you can obviously heal. And all the bosses are just so creative and fun to play against. It's just it's a very beautiful game in general, and going for 100% is like it's a fun journey. And yeah, it's just charming and fun. There's not really much else to say about it.
Do you want to mention about its charming and fun qualities?
No. It's the opposite of charming and fun. It's bleak and stupid.
My number 4 on my top 10 list is Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. This is the most recent game that I played on here. Or the most recent game I've gotten on this list. I did not get this game like when it first came out. I think for 2 years I hadn't gotten it. And then finally I was like, you know what? I do need to play this game before Breath of the Wild 2 comes out. It looks interesting. Luckily I didn't have like any spoilers, which was really nice. And then I played it and I fell in love so hard. It's such a beautiful game with... I love that there's combat, but you can also, instead of having to do combat every single time, you can do sneak tactics. It is a very strategical game. What I really like is that it's a... What is the game that you can see all around you?
3D?
Not 3D. It's a 3D like game where you have to do combat. Like that's like a consistent thing. Like a second person, first person, third person.
Third person.
It's like it's in the third person scale, which I really usually don't like. If I like a 3D game, it's like something like Mario Odyssey or like a Lego game where you're like away from the character, you can see all around you. This you kind of have to like move your camera to see things. I usually don't really like those games.
No. First person is when you're seeing.
You can still see a little bit. Yeah, first person you can see. So things like Overwatch and stuff, I really wasn't.
Yeah, FPSs.
Yeah.
Or first person shooters.
Yeah. I played Paladins for a little while, and I liked that, but it was very difficult for me. Like it's just too fast paced, is what I was getting at. And this, you don't have to be very fast paced. Like, and it's very there's a nice. I think the curve for the skill is very good. The difficulty curve is good. It's a fantastic game. It won Game of the Year. I mean, why would it not be on my list? I loved it so much. And it really makes me happy. Another thing is that my mom and I bonded a lot over this game. There were so many times... My mom and I don't usually bond over video games ever. Like, we haven't ever. But there were just times in this game that she would see me playing it and she would come in and we would just watch and talk about, like, what we were going to do next. So that's another big... I mean, that's another reason it would be up here. It would already be up here, but it's a very lovely game and I have a very good connection with it. Shout out to my mom.
Yeah. Our
Wholesomeness.
mom, yeah.
On to
wholesomeness is Super Mario 64.
Woo!
Yeah. This is I think the first 3D Mario game.
It
maybe
very much is.
maybe
It is, yeah.
the
It
first 3D Nintendo game, though I'm not quite sure about that. And what I find amazing is I went back recently, like about a month ago, and started playing through it, and I was like, wow, the graphics are not like cringe to me or like weirdly. They're simpler,
charming.
but they're charming, and they make sense. There aren't weird like hills going off into nowhere or whatever. And it's also extremely satisfying to play. Like, if you think about all the work level designers need to put into making it fun to run around and jump and swim and be able to do all these things without glitching into the air and just make it fun to be your character. This is a game that works really well with that. When I was really little and played this, I would often run around and jump off trees, and that was about all I did.
That's so fun.
Yeah. But collecting the stars is also quite fun. Also, something I like about this game is the home base level is not safe. There's a giant boo you can find in a hall underground that will hurt you. Yeah. So that's cool. And it's really pretty and colorful. I personally think it's prettier than Ocarina of Time, which was another really early 3D game of the time and is, like, I like the brighter style as opposed to the muddier style, but they have different goals. Yeah, and I wrote Easter eggs here. I don't know what Easter eggs I was referring to, but I guess Super Mario 64 has Easter eggs, so...
I can't really think of any
That's
notable
cool.
Easter eggs other than L is real and then the number.
Yeah.
I don't know this game as well as you guys probably. I can't think of anything.
Oh, I was gonna talk about, like, all the different stars you can get, I guess. Most of the levels are quite extensive.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're not just linear, here's your job, here's a bunch of space
They're
where
like
you
very
run around and
small
fight people.
open worlds.
Yeah, they're small open worlds.
Yeah, that's
My
a very
favorite
good way
level
of describing it.
is the penguin level where you
Cool
can go
Mountain?
down the slide. Yeah.
Is that the one from the meme where you throw the penguin off the edge?
Oh yeah, you can throw the penguin off the edge. It's so sad. They're nice penguins.
I know.
And you can make snowballs.
Sadness. What is
Yeah.
that from?
I
That's
think
probably
this
from the
may
Unreal
have been
Engine.
the game where the slide theme originated.
The Unreal Engine, yeah. Unreal Engine 4. Yeah, people have been making Super Mario 64 and Unreal Engine 4, and it's...
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, Slider's a beautiful, beautiful
Yeah.
theme.
I think I have this game on as a Wii app right now, and that's how I.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
Just as a note about that game, absolute cult classic.
Yeah, big cult classic.
Accounted as like one of the best video games of all time, up there with Ocarina of Time.
I really like the Ocarina of Time.
Such a beautiful game. Like you said, awesome soundtrack. Personally, I haven't played it, so I couldn't put it on my list, but it. And also, again, if you're into speedrunning, it's
Oh, big speedrunning
It's
thing.
like
That
the
I know about
biggest,
it for sure.
one of the biggest speedrunning games
Yeah.
currently, and has been for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, beautiful, so much there, and such an awesome game.
If you don't mind, I'm gonna check to see if anyone's
Yes,
phone
go
to
for
me.
it.
Yeah.
not leaving.
James, hit
All
us up
right.
with your number 4.
Number 4,
Almost there, wow.
Super Meat Boy by Team Meat, I think, by Edmund McMillan.
Team Meat!
I think that's what he went by.
It was made by one person?
Yeah, it's an indie game.
Yeah.
Most of these are, developed by Edmund McMillan.
Oh, they were
Oh.
Team Meat.
Yeah, see? Team Meat, I told you. Oh, and Tommy Refens? I don't know who that is.
Reethans.
Edmund McMillan. Great video game designer. One of my favorite indie game developers.
Boys. Guys.
What? This is a very, like, I don't think many
Yummy?
people would expect this game to go on, like, top 10s, because it's a very, like, not...
Isn't this a very difficult game?
This is notable for its difficulty.
Yeah, okay.
That's one of the things that this game is famous for. It's just like with Dark Souls, it's notable for being a super hard game that takes dozens of hours.
Some would
to
say
beat.
it's harder than Dark Souls.
I don't know if
And those people are few.
but yeah, this is a very different game than most of
Pity laugh.
my other games. Not story based whatsoever.
Oh, there's
Not-
no story at all.
Well, there is a story, sort of, but it's not very story based.
It's not a good story.
Yeah, it's just like a regular Save the Princess kind of story.
Who's the princess? A hamburger bun?
No, it's Bandage Girl.
That's cute.
Yeah, it is very cute. They have a very cute romance. Anyways,
Do they kiss?
they do kiss, I believe.
Oh.
They also, actually, that's not PG. I'm not gonna say
What?
that.
They have non-PG meat romance?
And
Don't like that.
this game doesn't have
either.
like quite as much like charm or wit as like any of the other games, but
like
it's this
Undertale.
this game is just pure
Okay.
platforming for people that love platformer games. And before I played Meat Boy, I didn't realize, like, the reason I bought this game was because of its hard difficulty, and I was like, oh, if it's hard, then I'll spend a lot of time on this game, and I'll get a good bang for my buck,
But then
right?
James was just too good of a gamer and he beat it in 10 minutes.
Well, that's impossible. The speedrun for this game is like 30 minutes, I think.
Oh, wow, that's fast.
Not relatively to most games. Like, the speedrun for SM64 is like 5 minutes. Anyways,
How interesting.
Because of the glitch?
but yeah, this game, it's pure platforming, and once I started playing it, I was like, wait, I really like platforming games. And you're not typing.
And yeah, there's not much else to say about it other than if you like platformer games, you'll like this. And so far, I've spent like a good, decent amount of time on it. Like I think 40 hours at this point, but there's so much more. Like I beat the game already, like with its regular ending, but there's so much to do to 100% the game. And yeah, I just have a lot more to go with it.
Nice. Arman, would you like to talk about number 3?
I don't really want to talk about number 3, but because you asked so nicely, I'll discuss number 3.
Okay. Don't feel pressured.
I'm gonna take a deep breath. My number 3.
Sounds like you're gonna open up about your like.
My very notable crack addiction.
Does anyone have a notable crack addiction? I'd hope not.
Like the people
As
in
opposed to an
Water by the
unnotable.
Spoonful, maybe.
They're not that notable. Whatever.
Okay.
You
Super Smash Brothers Ultimate at number 3. I know, everybody thought it was gonna be number 1. I know, I can hear you at home going, what? Arman doesn't love Super Smash Brothers Ultimate?
Who are you imitating?
Specifically, who am I imitating? Sarah Emberling.
Oh!
I'm kidding, I'm not imitating anybody at all. Number 3 is very high up on there.
It do be
I love that game. I play that game all the time. I really like putting time in that game and getting better at that game. I love playing all the different characters and watching the game. I love watching the competitive version of the game, and I love playing it casually. I think this is definitely the best Smash Bros. Game so far. I know a lot of people will say Melee is better. Definitely better than the other Smash game that I played a lot of hours on, which was Super Smash Bros. Brawl. Really like this game so much better. It's Smash Bros. You know it. I love it. I think there's a lot of characters in this game that really like got a great upgrade compared to some other games, which I was really happy about. I love this game, and it's really fun. And I knew you guys knew it was going to be on here, if you know me at all. So that's my number 3. That's all I have to say. It's Smash Bros. Ultimate. Yay.
It is.
It is.
Well, you know what else is? Is Monkey Island 2 LeChuck's Revenge?
Yeah!
The sequel in the Smash Brothers series.
Yes. Okay.
My favorite character to play in that game is LeChuck, the monkey.
He's not a monkey. What?
Oh, well, tell us about the game so I can know
well,
now.
a lot of people know Monkey Island 1. This is one of the few games, I think, in which it's mostly agreed that the sequel is even better than the first part. It's a point-and-click adventure, quite hard, but you can't die, so...
Oh.
Actually, I think... Okay. The people who made this game, who were LucasArts, were famous for making these sorts of, like, in-depth, story-rich, point-and-click adventures that are also quite funny. They have a good ear for dialogue, and I've heard that there's this, like, famous writer who was hired to write some dialogue for them. I don't remember who it was, though. Oh, well. Yeah. Well...
No credit for them.
Not to mention
Asshole.
one of their games, Maniac Mansion. The only way you can die in that game is if you have a hamster in your inventory, which is someone's pet hamster. You interact hamster with microwave and turn on microwave and then show microwave hamster to the person who owned the hamster, in which case that's the only death you can get in the game.
Did they kill you?
I guess so. That's an ending.
That's so funny.
This game has no deaths at all. There's one part where you get hired at a store by getting a rat, putting it in your inventory, sneaking into the kitchen via the window, which is kind of hard to find because 2 things to click on random windows. Place the rat in the soup while the chef is in the kitchen, which I was sure would be one of those like secret deaths, but wasn't. And then walk out and then order soup from the restaurant, and he's like, "There's so much hair in this soup, you're fired!" And then you get hired immediately, and that's how you get your first money in that game.
Amazing.
Yeah, also, legendary quotes such as, "Do you know any piratey songs?" to your pirate friends. And Got any more marshmallows? We're out. You're roasting one right now. It's the stuffing for my eye patch. I'm sterilizing it.
That's so good.
Yeah. And there are 4 different islands on this game, but they're all equally interesting and lore-filled, and it's just a really fun place to explore, even if you're like, wow, what do I click on next? What do I interact with next? Does the shovel go with the mouse? Does the mouse go with the book? Yeah, it's he's Arman's reviewing it right now.
It's gonna be
me to read this. It's
gonna be the first review. No, you have to go to look up Monkey Island 2 on Google, and this will be the only review for it. I like poisoning the soup.
Don't poison it.
There's so much hair in this soup.
That's not the actual
You're fired. Chef in Monkey.
He's actually a bartender.
Wow. Well, why is he yelling at people then? Bartender.
He's yelling at the chef.
And Monkey.
Because the bartender owns the whole.
Oh, well, there you go. Monkey
game.
Island.
Also, there's a really fun thing where you need a monkey for something later in the game. So you choose to acquire monkey, and there's a cute little blocky animation of him literally stuffing the monkey like down his trousers. It's just like,
awesome.
There's the monkey. It's in your pocket.
The Monkey Island series, very charming game.
Yeah, I want to play them now. They look good.
Lucas Pope, great developer.
I like the animation style. That's
Not Lucas Pope.
Sorry, not Lucas Pope.
Lucas Pope.
This is like when he was born. Probably.
Why Lucas Pope? Wow, all
Lucas,
these are on
LucasArts,
PC.
LucasArts, I forget which George Lucas, I think.
Yeah, but
I could.
George Lucas game.
very charming game. I wish I did. I wish I had played Monkey Island. Lovely
the
game.
way most people get it is via like downloading it on their computer,
on an
the old
emulator.
version. There's also a modernized app, but I found the app really buggy. It like goes to the menu screen when you don't ask it to. It doesn't save your saves at all. Maybe they've improved it since then, but would not recommend downloading it for any Apple devices or Android devices.
All right. So moving on to my number 3.
Yes.
Hollow Knight by Team Cherry.
Ooh.
Actually, credit to Dennis Arielmaz for selling me this game for $5. Only like
Thanks, Dennis.
Thanks,
for not
Dennis.
selling it to me for $5.99. That was he would not go a cent lower than $5.99, so I refused. So really, you should be thanking me.
Yes, thank you, Arman.
Shout out to Dennis.
Shout out to Dennis. Yeah.
Big shout out to Dennis.
Huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I only actually got this game a few months ago and have not put that many hours into it. Only like 20 or so hours.
But you do
right
love
now.
it.
But I love it so far. It's absolutely wonderful. And surprisingly, this is one of the very few games that I haven't gotten like complete and total spoilers before playing the game. Like most of these other games on this list, I've like seen like entire YouTube playthroughs of before actually buying the game. Oh, that's some beautiful art.
Thank you.
And like I most of the games I knew the entire story or like how to play the game optimally, and like the entire like learning phase of a game was removed from me, other than like the childhood games that I played. But even something like Minecraft, I'd watched YouTube tutorials for before buying the game. And so anyways, this is one of the few games that wasn't like that. Of course, I'd heard of it and heard that it was an awesome game, but I hadn't heard much about the story or its gameplay, and haven't seen a playthrough, obviously. But as soon as I started playing, I fell in love with it. It was so... I don't want to call it charming, because it's like...
A bit dark.
Yeah, it's a bit dark. But the gameplay is so smooth. The art style is beautiful. It's absolutely gorgeous. Shoutouts to this art team.
Thank you.
Definitely one of my favorite. It's just a beautiful game.
Fun fact, my sister voices a mean grub.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Really?
She has good grub voicing.
That's really cool.
Did she actually?
Yeah. Well, she didn't do it, but she can imitate them.
Oh.
That makes more sense. Yeah.
I thought you meant like
I
she
just
she
said
actually.
she voiced the grubs in the game.
Yeah, one of the
I'm
games.
not trying to trick you all, but she sounds good.
Can we hear it?
Maybe.
Is she okay with it? Shout out to Annie's sister.
I don't know. I think I have a recording here. We'll see.
That's a recording and recording.
That's not the grubs.
That might not be it.
Okay, here we are.
That's actually really good.
I don't know what they sound like, but I like the noise.
Okay.
Awesome.
Oh
Shout
my
out to
gosh.
Annie's sister.
Shout out to Annie's sister.
Yeah.
Thanks for being a grub.
She has a harder time with the evil grubs because they have a lot of shrieking going on.
Oh. All right.
James, be a grub.
Cool. No.
On to number 2.
Well,
Yes.
I mean, I haven't really discussed it yet.
Well, please discuss it.
So for those that don't know, it's a Metroidvania, like platform. I mean, it's a Metroidvania. And it's you explore and get more powerful as time moves on. And yeah, the movement and combat of this game makes you feel like you're really like getting better at the game without having to give you like huge power-ups.
Fun fact, I just texted my dad and said, I think I might be home closer to 4 p.m. and he reacted, haha. So I think that's a good sign.
That's
Anyway,
good, I think.
James, please do continue. I want to know more.
Yeah, like early on in the game, and when you start out the game, you don't have like super tons of movement options. But as you defeat certain bosses, you unlock different movement options, and
You move more.
yeah.
Oh, you unlocked different. I love games with good movement options. I'm just
Yeah.
gonna say right now.
And exploring the whole world, it's super satisfying. Looking for new areas, and discovering secrets. Actually, as much fun as discovering like random secrets is, that's probably the most tedious part of the game, and why it isn't higher than it is right now. Because oftentimes I find myself in the habit of just hitting every single wall I can, because sometimes when I hit the wall, it cracks and a secret area is revealed.
Oh, that's cool.
And like,
But that's also frustrating.
yeah, you can technically tell when a wall is like able to be like destroyed, but
But
like,
you just want to break them all.
yeah, like every wall is just so dark. It's sometimes so hard to see unless you point it out. So you just get in the habit of hitting every single wall to try and find everything. But yeah, awesome game, so much fun. I can't wait to keep playing and get more into it.
Number
Yay.
2 time.
Yes, number
Is
2 time.
everybody ready for number 2? My number 2. Guess what it is? It's guess.
It's Tony.
Speaking of ultimate. That's not what I meant to say. Speaking of good movement in a game. Good movement in a game. My second
Dance
favorite game of
Dance
all time.
Revolution.
Not Dance Dance Revolution. Is Ultimate Chicken Horse. Probably the most underrated game on here. Maybe I would say.
Probably.
I love that
Common
game.
knowledge.
I really like that game so much. I love watching gameplay for it, even though there's not that much out there. I love playing that game, and not many people like to play it with me. But it's this. What do we even call it? It's a party game where you. It's like a platformer. You go to a level and it's like a platformer.
Super Mario Maker.
Imagine competitive Super Mario Maker.
Yeah.
And
well,
so,
there is competitive Super Mario Maker already.
but it's different. So you make the level as you go, basically, and you want to set up traps so that other people can't get across, but you think you can. And there's really fun, like wall jumps, wall sliding off of it, and different and a bunch of different game modes that I haven't even explored that much that you can do with like a certain set time limit or like different ways of what happens after you die. And it's just so fun. It does not get old because you can just different things happen every single time, and you can really master your movement in that game. I mean, when somebody really understands the movement in that game, like you can see it. Like I've seen gameplay where people really understand the movement and they're able to get around things. Really love that game. More people should be playing that game. Absolutely get it. It's definitely worth the whatever price it is. It has no DLC or anything. It's just straight up that game, and it's really wonderful. I love it. The creators of the game, the creators of the game are, just because you've been saying it so much. How do I find the creators of the game? I have the game up here and I can't even find the creators of the game. What is it? James is looking it up.
Clever
Clever Endeavor Games. Their name even rhymes.
They're Canadian.
They are Canadian.
Even
That explains
better.
a lot, actually. When did it come out? 2017. Oh, 2016.
It's
I
10
think
out
this
of
was
10 on Steam.
This was a huh?
It's 10 out of 10 on Steam.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I mean, it's really good. I think it was a Kickstarter based game. So, shout out to the Kickstarter people.
A lot of indie games are.
Yeah. Annie?
Oh wait, can I add some thoughts onto that game first?
Yes.
I would be happy for you to do that.
I would also be happy.
I also think it's super, super fun. Unfortunately, I just haven't had the opportunity to play it as much as something like Super Smash Bros. I think it definitely incorporates some of my favorite aspects of a party game, like Super Smash Bros. Into Super Meat Boy, which, like I already mentioned, like I really liked platforming games, and while Ultimate Chicken Horse isn't like exactly the same movement as Super Meat Boy, it is very similar, and both games have very smooth, like they know.
It's very smooth movement. I'm not lying when I say the movement is great. I'll even just open up the game when I'm alone, just in the hub world, and I'll just be practicing jumping off walls and things. Because I just love moving in that game so much.
But yeah, they know how to make platformers work.
Oh yeah. Number 2, Annie?
Your thing about smooth movement just reminded me of Night in the Woods. It's probably not in my top
I've never
10,
played
but
Night in the Woods.
Night in the Woods has very springy, charming movements.
Interesting.
Developed by, like, a couple people, which is even more impressive.
Nice.
But anyhow, my number 2 is Portal. So,
Ooh.
Portal was developed by
Valve.
Valve. Yes, Valve Games, who are...
This game.
Wait,
yeah,
I know this game too. Oh my god.
who are... Valve is a lot more famous for, like... Well, was a lot more
Creating
famous
Steam.
for some of those other games. They created Steam. They made TF2, I believe. What are some of their other big games?
CS:GO, Dota.
Yeah, those things. And
Wow,
Portal
that's
was
so
intended
weird.
to be sort of like a... I've heard it described as a
What this
Christmas
game?
stuffer, like a relatively cheap $10 to $15 game that people... And it's like... It's a puzzle platformer. Your goal is to get through a series of scientific tests using something called a portal gun, which allows you to basically teleport from one area of the map to another based on where you shoot the portals. So, some very interesting physics in there. Luckily, I don't get nauseous from it. Some people do.
I do a little bit, so
Yeah.
I can't play the game very much.
But what really makes this game shine to me is its antagonist.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Am I allowed to spoil?
Spoiler alert for Portal.
So lovely.
Thank you.
You start off like basically as a test subject, and it's like
Shell.
as Chell, mute test subject, and the computer is directing you through the game. But over time, you notice more and more things are kind of off. Like the tests keep getting more dangerous. You can get injured in the game, not via falling, because that would make portals really hard to deal with, but via being shot by little
Turrets.
enemy robots, turrets.
When you
And-
die, what happens?
You can respawn.
Yeah, you respawn at like the beginning of the level, or like it auto saves at certain points in harder levels.
Nice.
There's like toxic goo you need to avoid in certain tests, like little energy balls that will kill you if they hit you. One thing I like about this game is the health bar. It has the sort of thing where you see more red when you're more injured, but over time it slowly regenerates, so it's not like
Oh, that's
you
cool.
remain injured for the rest of the level.
Yeah, it's like Uncharted or like not CS.
Yeah.
Or like,
But marvelous villain.
Half-Life, that's
She
what I
is
was
a crazy computer,
Aren't they
and
the same?
I
Wait,
love
That's
crazy
wrong.
antagonists.
is it Half-Life the
Um,
same game as
I
Portal?
love sci-fi things that seem relatively realistic, and if you play Portal 2, you find out a lot more about how the computer ended up there and what sorts of events might have led to that. Portal's set in the same universe as Half-Life, but a lot
I
older.
told you.
You said they were the same game.
I said that, were they the same world?
They're the same world,
I misunderstood your question.
Portal is much later, and Portal 2 is like a couple.
Did you like Half-Life?
hundred-
Have you played Half-Life?
I have played Half-Life 1, but I got scared.
Played a bit.
Was it scary?
No, I'm just
It's
very
just-
easily scared of being attacked.
No.
It's
that's
as much
fair.
scary as like Hollow Knight is scary.
Yeah.
Well, I've never played Hollow Knight. Is it as scary as Lego Marvel Superheroes?
No, it's
Well,
not.
I
It's-
thought-
There's a
Portal
very
much less
scary
scary.
scene in that, actually. There's a big jump scare in that.
really
Yeah.
interesting.
Lego Marvel Superheroes.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Well,
Sorry.
Portal has fun physics and a great villain, and by the time I first played Portal when I was about like 6, And I
Okay.
did not get very far. As soon as like the enemy robots showed up and it wasn't just avoiding toxic sludge, I got scared. And my whole thing is like I'm much more scared when things are trying to kill you than when you are avoiding killing yourself.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But I ended up replaying the whole thing later when I was about 12 years old, and by then I knew the plot, I knew the villains, I knew all her lines, I'd listen to the voice lines over and over, I'd listen to the end song over and over, Still Alive.
Great song.
Maybe one of, probably
The
my
best.
favorite song ever written for a video game.
Really?
It's so clever.
Well, there's not
And
many
fun.
video written game songs.
Yeah, but I was referring to like
You
out
want
of...
to speak?
I was referring to any video game soundtrack. Like, I like it better than any
Oh,
of the Undertale songs, for example, which is high praise. For,
Get flexed.
Yeah.
Come on, James.
Yeah.
No, I really like this song too.
Come on,
I think
Toby
it's
Fox.
one of the best.
Come on, Toby Fox.
Step it up.
Get better than Portal.
Well,
Okay.
then he wrote "Don't Forget," which I think is good, but you think is terrible. So
I do?
no, not you, her.
Why?
Eh?
"Don't Forget"
What?
from Deltarune.
Deltarune? Oh, I'm not that big a fan of it.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to play Deltarune.
I think it's a good song. I just don't think it's as
Is
good.
Deltarune free?
Yes, Deltarune
The
is free.
demo, yeah.
Well, I
It's
mean,
released
the
right
demo is the only part.
now. Yeah,
of it
that
right
is
now.
released right now.
I want to play it.
Yeah, that was a lot of tangents.
Sorry.
But I was so excited when I finally encountered the final boss that instead of being scared like, oh wait, now I need to fight a final boss, I was jumping up and down underneath the computer.
Fantastic.
Like, this is so wonderful. I feel like I'm meeting the voice actors in real life.
Aw.
But
Yeah.
I'm a big fan.
Valve.
Please do play Portal. It is a classic, but don't get too invested in the big Valve games because they've kind of turned into hat
Yeah.
developers at this
What does
point.
that mean?
They've
Like, you know, the
stopped releasing
TF2
big
trading
games and
economy.
they keep releasing like new costumes.
Is that a thing we should talk about later?
I mean, it's not a big deal.
Okay.
Just like, whatever. I'm not
hats.
gonna get into that right now.
Yeah.
Um,
hats.
But yeah, Valve, their games that they have developed are awesome, except for Artifact, which was such a big flop.
What is Artifact like?
It's a Dota card game.
Oh.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the same reaction that the crowd gave them at E3.
Was that this year?
No, it was a few years ago. It's completely dead by now, Artifact.
Oh, nice.
Um,
What if I play it and I really like it?
No,
probably
feel
won't.
free.
People were like, no, it's not a good game. But you can try. Anyways, moving on to my number 2.
Yeah!
The Binding of Isaac. Also developed by Edmund McMillan. I don't think he called himself Team Meat when he was developing
Unfortunate.
The Binding of Isaac.
Unfortunate. Really would have made millions of dollars.
I think it already has.
Is it really?
Maybe not millions.
Not millions, but he's made a lot of
He's
money
made
through his games.
bank.
Yeah.
That's good.
So yeah.
You make more if you're a solo developer or a small team developer.
That makes sense.
If your game is successful,
Yeah.
Oh, well,
which is harder to do.
yeah.
But yes, it's what genre is this? It's a procedurally generated.
It's kind
Dungeon
of like
crawler.
the old Zelda games.
It is
It's a
very
lot of
much-
inspiration from
Yeah, it takes a lot of inspiration from the original Zelda. I'm just trying to think if they're
Wait, scroll up a bit. Or not.
top down dungeon crawler roguelike game.
This looks like a good game. I don't think I would enjoy this game, or enjoy playing this game, but I like the game.
This is probably
Really?
the darkest game out of the ones we've discussed so far.
You think so? I mean, I guess.
We haven't gotten to my number
Based
1
on the
yet.
villain.
Oh yeah, speaking of the villain, the main plot of this game. Okay, I guess
Spoiler alert!
Spoiler. This isn't really a spoiler.
I
'cause
mean,
this is set
Binding of
in the
Isaac
intro.
does have a lot of story. Okay, fine.
So basically, what the
Intro spoiler alert.
Spoiler to the intros for Binding of Isaac.
your Isaac and his mother. That's sorry. Isaac and his mother lived alone in a cottage in the middle of the woods where
Isaac is naked.
Yes, he is naked.
He is naked. And he lived a
One of the
relatively.
enemies in this game is giant walking vaginas that shoot blood.
There are a lot weird enemies in that. But
Yes.
That's a good reference.
Game Theory did a video on this.
Okay,
Uh,
that's just a theory.
but yeah, so he's living a normal life with his mom in the woods, and
James
his father is nowhere to be seen. But one day,
One day.
his mother gets a call. she hears the voice of God that basically says, your child is corrupted with sin. You need to lock him in his room and take away all his toys and basically get rid of all influences that he could have because he is very much corrupted with sin.
And he's also naked.
I'll get to the naked part. He's not naked just yet.
Okay.
What kind of clothes does he wear?
He's
before
just
naked?
he's just a regular boy clothes.
Would you say that your fashion sense is similar to Isaac from The Binding of Isaac before you started?
I would.
I mean,
agree
it's
with that.
kind of just like stick figures. I can't really tell you what the fashion looks like.
Okay.
James wears
I think
sticks.
Just scarves.
But then God tells his mother again, like, no, this is still not enough. He's still corrupted by sin. Take away literally everything that he has, including his clothes. And that's the part when he gets naked. And then she's like, yes, my lord, I will do it. And then God tells his mother one more time, no, still not enough. You gotta murder your child because he's just so corrupted by sin. And then she's like, yes, my lord. And grabs a knife, starts walking into the room that Isaac is trapped in. And Isaac, in his frantic fury for not wanting to die.
How old is Isaac?
Isaac's like a little boy, like maybe like
Under
8 years
10,
old?
I'd say.
Under 10 years old.
Okay.
Between 6 and 10.
Obviously, he doesn't want to die. He lifts up his carpet, and at the last moment, as his mother's coming in, he finds this trapdoor that leads into the basement that he's never seen before, and he leaps in just
Good
to...
thing it's in his room.
Yeah, good thing it is in his room. Otherwise, he would have died to his mom
What if
stabbing
he
him.
did die and the whole game is his afterworld?
Well, I mean, that's just
That's
theory.
just a theory. A James theory.
But yeah, okay,
Still
I do
watching.
see what you mean by this game is very dark. That's a very, very dark intro of your mom
Yeah,
wanting
there's
to
a lot
murder
of
you.
religious lore in this
There
game.
is a
There
lot
is,
of...
yeah.
Interesting.
The name Isaac, especially.
Yeah, and all the characters are named after religious figures. There's like Magdalene, there's Cain.
The mom is, her name is Mary.
There's Eve.
That's
Not true.
Not
I
true.
know, I'm saying
There's
shut up.
the blue baby, who is not a biblical figure.
well,
Are you
the
sure?
blue baby is supposed to represent Isaac when he's suffocated to death.
Suffocated with a knife?
No. Like he like
Umbilical cord.
spoiler alert, one of the ending or like the main ending to the game before
Spoiler alert!
you unlock the cathedral is like you unlocking the chest after killing mom's heart, and you like go in and it's basically implied that he suffocates in that chest because there's no air.
Oh. Okay.
But yeah,
This is a dark game.
I don't. The story is like whatever for me. The game. This is actually not about the story. Why I like this game. It's a very very fun, 2D like game. Like Annie said, very reminiscent of the original Zelda game.
Do you like the original Zelda games?
I haven't not played it, so I can't really compare.
Oh.
Sorry, I don't own an
I
NES.
see.
And how does that make you feel?
But it's procedurally generated every single time with each floor.
You kind of need it.
With each floor containing like a certain items that like help you like give you upgrades and help you like defeat the harder and harder enemies in each succeeding floor. And the bosses, all the enemy design and bosses are so unique. It's
Like
a good
vaginas?
like vaginas.
Isn't that what you were thinking about when you were thinking about unique
I don't think so.
designs?
I
There
was
are, there are
thinking
very
more.
unique designs beyond those.
Yeah, I was
Like
thinking
blue
more like.
babies.
Well, that's your character, not the enemies. Well,
Like
sort of.
the cathedral.
But yeah, very fun to play if you like bullet hells.
I tried my
And-
best to be a gamer.
And just satisfying gameplay.
Very
Not
satisfying
much.
gameplay.
not
It's cool
much.
how you can like get the items and then some of them.
Oh yeah,
make you
synergies
worse.
in this game. Oh, the synergies, so beautiful. Edmund McMillan definitely put in so much time and effort into making sure that almost every item can synergize with each other. And actually, this is one of the games. While I don't own this game anymore, I used to like obsess over game knowledge of this game because there are like hundreds of different items in the game.
Did you watch the game theory?
I believe I did a long time ago.
Did you like it?
I don't remember.
I don't remember
what
either.
it's about. But Yeah, there are hundreds of items in this game, and there was one point in my life where I knew every single one of them and what every single one did.
But then
Then I just lost the game and I don't.
you lost the game.
Okay, so
Did you
basically
lose
what
a
happened
Steam game?
was
Yeah.
I pirated the game at first. Oh my!
Spoiler
God.
alert! James is going to jail.
Yeah.
No, seriously, I'm calling the cops.
He was
Yeah.
arresting him.
understand. But then after I
Turned myself in.
turned myself in, I swore off piracy and have never
And
down-
off Isaac. Off the binding of Isaac.
And so I really want the game on Steam so I can play it legit without having to,
Didn't I
illegal-
gift you a Steam gift card?
You did, but I'm waiting for it to go on sale.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
How much is it right now?
it's like $20, and that's like
Really?
all
It said it was $5.
on Steam.
Oh, wow.
Where?
Well,
Oh, this is the original Binding of Isaac.
Fun,
I'm talking
bro.
about like Rebirth.
my dad plays a
Why?
lot of Binding of Isaac,
'Cause it's, like,
and in the
remastered
early
version.
versions of the game, before it was like had updates and patches and stuff, he got a set of weapons that made his shots just one giant wiggly laser that filled the entire screen. Because
That's
there's
awesome.
a laser one, there's a makes your shots thick one, there's a makes it one shot one, and there's one that makes it a sine wave. And please don't look that up, Arman. Anyway, this caused bosses to just despawn. It wouldn't even show them dying. He'd just fill the screen with a laser and they just disappear. So yeah. But now it's better designed, and the bosses would like die and stuff, not just go away.
But yeah, very fun game. Very, very fun. Not only because the story's crazy, but also just fun to play.
Yeah.
Oh, and also,
Well
sorry.
designed.
On the topic of game knowledge, I forgot to mention this when I was talking about Minecraft, but
That's so long ago.
sorry.
Have you been waiting all this time for a good moment to discuss this?
Yes, I have.
Oh my!
Shut up!
No.
Shut up!
Right?
The absolute idiot.
Minecraft is also another one of the games where I have memorized so many obscure facts. Like there was one
Oh,
point
no.
where I memorized. I know almost every single recipe in Minecraft.
What's your favorite recipe?
What's my favorite recipe?
Cake.
Probably like a beacon, which is it's like really cool. It's like
Oh, I do like beacons. I've seen those. I got a bunch of them in creative mode when I was playing on my brother's account, and I put them all around at my house.
yeah, beacons are probably like one of the most like not I don't want to say I guess I'll say unique recipes in the game. It's very that and like enchanting tables. Very
Can't you
cool.
get
recipes.
healing beacons?
You can.
So smart.
Will they heal enemies if they go through them?
No.
Ooh.
No.
Okay. Figures.
But Minecraft and The Binding of Isaac, I have so much game knowledge in, and it's taking up a big part of my brain.
This is why we are an idiot in all
so-
other parts of life.
Quiz me on obscure facts in Minecraft and The Binding of Isaac, and I probably.
Can villagers climb ladders?
I mean, technically all mobs. It depends on your definition of climbing ladders. If you push a mob into a ladder, it'll go up. And if you count that as climbing ladders, then yes, they can climb ladders. But there's no like pathing AI for them to like go up a ladder and like walk into it and actually go up it.
What sound do the villager elephant things make when they've successfully done a raid?
I don't think they do. I'm
They
sorry.
have, like, trumpets and stuff.
I don't have as much knowledge in the most recent updates.
That's fair. Neither
1.14.
do I.
Yeah,
There are elephants?
they're not elephants. They're ravagers.
Yeah.
Huh.
I pretty much stopped playing after horses became a
Yeah,
thing.
these things.
How long have those been a thing?
Just since 1.14, which was the most recent update.
That's so cool.
But 1.15 is in development right now. So
I always
and
get
will be
scared
released
of all
soon.
these
Illager!
mobs added.
Yeah, those are illagers. They attack villages.
They're ill. I don't love the fact that they keep adding new mods because that's just more and more ways you could potentially die. More and more things you need
I
to
think that's what
prepare
James
for.
likes, though.
Yeah, maybe.
They're
Why-
both
why
staring
do
at me
that?
right now, and I don't know what to
I
say.
just wanted to see what your thoughts were. Anyways, Are we done talking about the Binding of Isaac?
How is that the Binding of Isaac?
I don't
again?
know. Remember when James wanted to
I
said,
know a lot
speaking
about
of
the Binding of Isaac,
speaking of
but-
game knowledge, I have something to say about Minecraft, and then he was like, I know everything about Minecraft. It was just a,
I know everything, every single detail.
it was just a very
Every
weird,
0 and 1.
very weird flex. Like James.
Unorthodox.
I'm gonna say my number one game, favorite game of all time, guys. My number one favorite game of all time is Lego Harry Potter years 1 through 4. Specifically, if you want to know, the one on the Wii.
Series?
What?
It's not a series. Never mind. I guess years 1 through 4 are all in one game.
Yeah, it's all in one game.
Nice.
I love this game. This is like the first real video game that I like played, and it like got me into like playing like actual video games. I played like games on like nickjr.com or something like that. But like this was like the first real like Lego game that I played, and it was so whoa and awesome because that was like right as I was reading the Harry Potter books. And I was very into Legos also. And it was just this enormous, like, wow, all of my favorite things that I love at this very moment in time are coming together into one great, phenomenal thing. Huge nostalgia factor. I love the game. I love Lego games in general. I like they're like the video games I've grown up with, so I know the movement very well. I know the basic concept of them very well. I know a lot of fun glitches and like little fun things for Lego Harry Potter Years 1 through 4 on the Wii. Specifically, I think the game has real good charm, especially because it tells the story of Years 1 through 4 with no dialogue. There's no dialogue in this game. This is before they put like actual dialogue into games. So they were just like, huh? Ooh, huh? Which I love. That's one of my favorite parts of Lego games.
How? What? I can't imagine this story. The complexity of Harry Potter working with just us.
Well, they bring it down. They shorten it a little bit. It's not the full complexity of the movie. Oh,
Yeah.
great, man. I almost put that in my top 10.
That's a movie.
Yeah, it's a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was sorry. I just saw it on the list. Anyway, great game. Love that game. I could play it over and over again. I was just looking at the speed runs for it. I think I closed the tab. I think I could be a speedrunner for this game.
Oh yeah, you totally could. It doesn't seem like a very popular speed game. So
Yeah,
if you
so
invest a good amount of
I think if I
hours-
invested,
And again, like, what's the impressiveness of speedrunning that no one ever speeds for?
it's my favorite game that I sped.
Well, I
run.
mean, it looked
Okay,
like
that's
it had a sizable community. It just wasn't as popular as.
yeah,
as
and also the last time anybody even got on the leaderboard was like 5 months ago. So
That's not that like bad in comparison. 2 months ago is pretty recent in like terms of like obscure, like speedrunning games. Like world records are not broken that often.
Annie Leonard, what is your
My
favorite video game
one video game is
of all time?
E.T. the Extraterrestrial.
No.
Good.
Shut
Good.
up. I hate you.
Why do you hate
Sorry, you can't do.
For those that don't know, that's rated as pretty much objectively the worst video game of all
But
time.
Annie, you can't do 2 games from the same series. It's the second game in the Donkey Kong series.
Oh.
Shout out to Emiliano who hates James's laugh. For some reason, I love James's laugh. It's the only reason he's on this podcast.
Yeah, it's just
If you wanted that, you could just like record him laughing and fill in studio laughter.
shoutouts to Arman's laugh, who everyone loves for some reason.
Not my friends here. My friends here don't like it very much. They think I laugh too hard.
No.
Oh no.
No, it's not like they're not mean about it. I just like I could tell that they're like.
You're like,
It's just I laugh very loudly though.
yeah, yeah.
Hey Annie, what's your favorite video game of all time?
I've realized there are 2 other games I haven't shouted out yet, which are Dragon Stomper, which is a very old game. You are a pixel, you wander around a maze, you try to find a sword and kill a dragon, and it's cool. And also Dragon Quest, which is similar to that.
Yeah.
Not Dragon Quest like Origins or Inquisition, a different one.
Oh,
Or is that Dragon Age? I don't know. I forget exactly what it's called. Gosh darn it.
but it's a dragon game.
Yes. The
Mhm,
pixel
one
dragon
of those.
games where you go around and recruit people and avoid monsters.
Spyro the Dragon.
No,
It's
but
my
you are a
life.
single pixel. These are fun games. Anyway, those could be my number one, but they are not. My number one is The World Ends With You, which is a 2008 or so action JRPG with urban fantasy elements. I played this game for the first time when I was 10 years old. Really liked it because, as you may have figured out from earlier games, I love funny, snappy dialogue. Despite having being translated from another language, which is Japanese, the dialogue still works really well and is really funny.
It's like Persona?
Yeah, I guess. I've never played Persona, but I've heard great things about it. Also, the voice acting is really strong, which is not as common in American video games, in my opinion. Or, like, American media, in
I see
my
that.
general opinion. Like, if you've ever played Danganronpa and you hear the Japanese voice acting and it just enhances the experience so much, and the American voice acting, and they're like, and it's just like, voice acting should enhance, not distract.
One of the most
you know?
notable instances of like that is Dragon Ball Z Fighters in the story mode. I switched it from the Japanese original voice acting with subtitles to English, and it's so bad. They all sound like this one random guy pretending to be a 12-year-old, and it's just so bad. It's very, very funny.
Can you give us a sample?
Maybe. Let me find a...
Oh, I meant you.
Oh, me? No, I cannot recreate it.
You
It's
cannot recreate it?
I will
Okay.
I will
Well,
laugh too hard.
While you look it up, I'm going to talk more.
Yeah, talk about your...
So The World Ends With You is philosophical. The concept behind it, spoiler alert, is you are a teenager who needs to fight for their life in a sort of, not battle royale, but you need to fight these monsters called noise, which are created by stress and negativity in the world. In that way, it's kind of like Persona. And the noise are personified as like these animals made of tattoos. This game has like a very interesting graphic concept in that they set it in like modern Shibuya as it was at the time, so it's very stylized. There's a lot of tattoo imagery, a lot of graffiti, modern art stuff. The handguns are so stylized that some people thought they were hair dryers, so that's maybe one weakness. And the first time I played it through, it was deep enough that I didn't really get it. Like, yes, power of friendship, but it's more than the power of friendship, it's the power of, like, opening yourself up to other people, expanding your world. The characters in it are not so stereotypical or archetypal as I think they tend to be in games where you play as teenagers. They have their own interests. Joshua used to be my least favorite character, but now is my favorite because his motivations are so unique, and he's also kind of a Christ figure, which is quite interesting. Yeah, one of his attacks is when he goes up in the air. Later he learns how to levitate. That's a big spoiler alert, sorry, but
Spoiler alert for The World Ends
when
With
he
You.
goes up in the air, he goes into this like position with his arms out and head down, and it's like an exact crucifix position. And he's like does energy beams from there, and in the energy beams you can see like these vague figures and stuff, and it seems like he's harnessing the power of human souls to attack people. It's really interesting. But it's all stuff that you get, like, you could play through this game and just consider it a fun fighting action-adventure game. You pick up more powers over time via pins that you equip, so like fashion pins you put on your clothing.
Yeah.
And there's another fun thing where your stats are enhanced by wearing clothes, but some clothes you aren't brave enough to wear, so you need to eat foods that will increase your bravery. One of these foods is soft serve.
That's amazing.
Soft serve is also
soft
a
serve?
food that no matter how like much you've eaten that day, as long as you wait a certain amount of time, you can keep eating soft serve.
Soft serve is my favorite
So you
soft serve
just
of all
eat
time.
like 8 soft serve in one day to get your character brave enough to wear a bikini or something, or a
Awesome.
samurai helmet. Yeah.
A bikini or a samurai helmet.
Or both. They're different. Yeah. But the
I feel so
Fantastic.
bad. This game is so like clearly meaningful and epic, and Lego Harry Potter just won through floor.
But yeah, The World Ends With You is super important to me emotionally. It's a game I brought with me like when I travel every summer, and I've played it like 4 or 5 times the whole way through. Another Day, which is like the sequel once you finish the game for the first time, is sort of an open world. You go around and everyone's personalities are like the opposite. So your character, who is normally an emo angsty teen, goes like, just another day on the streets. Man, life is sweet. I cannot wait to play the one like important thing in my life. The meaning of life is Tin Pin Slammer, which is like basically Bakugan.
Oh.
Yeah. And then he goes like, wait, no, my emo urges are taking over. Must fight emo urges. It's such a wacky time, and it's like, it takes a super serious, meaningful game and makes everyone high, basically. And
Awesome.
it's
Amazing.
the funniest thing I've read in my life. Great for a laugh. And you can unlock the secret reports after you finish the game, which involves going back and figuring out all the Easter eggs, and then you can figure out the lore. So there's a lot to this game. Tin Pin Slammer is probably the best mini game ever. I'm pretty good at it. I've beat the best character in the game. So if I were to ever play with a live person, I feel like I have a chance
Competitive
of winning.
Tin Pin Slammer.
Yeah, I mean, you start out really bad, and most people never get that good, but I just practiced.
Nice.
Because, like, if you just play through the game, you never get that good, and the funniest endings are when you lose to everyone.
Oh,
Not endings,
yeah.
but funniest, like, story events.
Hmm.
Yeah. Winning all the time is actually kind of sad.
That's true for like everything.
The first time you encounter Tin Pin in the game, you're supposed to like lose because it's a tutorial and you're playing to like one of the best in the area. He's like, "Here, I'll play a practice round with you." And if
And
you're
then he
really
just
good, you
fucking
can just
destroys
destroy
you.
him. And he goes, "Whoa, you're a fast learner."
I love when they do that and when you replay them and you're just epically good and you just fucking crush them.
Yes, I enjoy crushing 10-year-olds in Pokemon Bakugan style.
Yes.
Shout out to all the 10-year-olds getting crushed in Pokemon Bakugan.
Actually, the closest thing it is that game where you battle tops and you spin the tops and they fight and try to go off the table. That's the closest thing to what Tin Pin is.
Hmm. So like
This spinny tops.
Yeah, I know
that
what
like
you
hit
mean.
each other.
Ninjago Spinjitzu.
that's
Maybe.
not what I was thinking of, but all right.
That's what I was thinking of.
James?
I
Yes.
Do you want to tell us your favorite video game of all time? Of all the games you've ever played or seen or breathed or lived in?
The Adventure of Clutch Powers.
The Adventures of Clutch Powers.
The game.
Yes.
Tell us the number one game.
The number one game. Ooh, what is it?
It's CSGO!
CSGO. No, seriously, it is CSGO, guys. I love FPSs. No, that's a joke. For anybody that knows me, FPSs are like my least favorite genre.
Are they really?
Yeah, I really don't.
Oh,
like-
no, we talked about this.
Yeah. I don't like FPSs.
One of James and I's first conversations ever was about how we didn't like Fortnite.
Yeah, that's how we bond. Number one! The number one game that I like the best out of all that I've played. Spelunky. Actually, quite a obscure title. I thought it was more
I
notable.
know. I was also surprised that not that many people knew about
Yeah.
it.
I
If you know Alpharad, he loves this game also.
He does.
What is Spelunky?
Spelunky is
Metroidvania?
no, I wouldn't say it's a Metroidvania. It's a randomly generated. I call it a dungeon crawler.
Oh, that kind of makes sense.
Let's see what Wikipedia says. Spelunky is an open source indie 2D platform video game.
Did that make sense?
No, this is the wrong Spelunky. I'm looking for.
What? There are two Spelunkies?
Well, there's Spelunky Classic and then there's Spelunky HD.
Which one is your favorite?
The one that's on Steam, which is Spelunky HD. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if there's a really good way of explaining it. It's a pretty unique type of game. Basically, you go into a cave. There's like virtually no story to this, by the way. But you are an explorer going into a cave, and you have to battle your way through like a bunch of different monsters. And your objective is always to get to the bottom of the level and leave through the exit. But between you and the exit are like a bunch of different enemies and traps. Treasure.
A dog.
A dog, or a woman, or a man. They're called damsels, by the way.
Wacky.
Or berries.
Or berries.
You can rescue
What?
berries?
I always just joke that the blood drops look like berries.
Oh, haha.
Oh.
But yeah, this game is a very unique game. I honestly don't know the best way to explain this. It's like a difficult
platforming game. It's like a difficult adventure platforming game. And it has a lot of depth to the gameplay. Like, at first, it doesn't seem like you're looking in the wrong place.
No, I know, but this is a character in Rivals of Ether that they modded in.
Okay. Huh, that's really cool.
Yeah, it's very cool. He's okay.
But yeah, there's a lot of depth to the gameplay, and when you start out, you are obviously just getting used to the mechanics of the game, and everything seems super surface level. Like, to defeat enemies, like, you can pick up rocks to throw at them, right?
And you have a whip.
And you have a whip that you can, like, whip at enemies. As you progress, it seems like picking up rocks.
Whipping.
Yeah, I was whipping quite a bit there. I realized nobody could see me, so
and picking up.
You could make this a video cast.
Honestly, we should have.
And yeah, usually you get
anyway,
accustomed.
let's talk about.
He was.
You get accustomed to throwing things at enemies, and there are 4 main different worlds, I'd say. So after 4 levels of a certain world, you move on to the next world. So there's mines with traps like dart traps and snakes and bats and that kind of thing. And then there's the jungle, which has man eaters and tiki men, and
That's kinda
giant
racist,
frogs. How's that racist?
Because it's a white man fighting tiki men.
I mean, I guess. I mean,
James likes racist games.
It doesn't. Your character doesn't have to be white. They're black characters.
That's true, actually.
Yeah. You can be a robot. You can be a gold man.
Do you play with co-op a lot?
I mean, I wouldn't say a lot, but I play. No, I mean, there's only one person that plays Spelunky with me. So
I'll get it.
Sure,
How much
if
is
you want to.
Are any of our games free?
Aren't
one
some
of
of your games free?
Superhero Squad Online was free, but that's
Butterfly Soup is free.
about it.
None of my games are free. Sorry, folks, unless you pirate them. Oh no, Rotmig is free. That's right. Sorry.
So the online games and Butterfly Soup.
But yeah, there's the jungle, which has I just explained them. Jungle. Yeah, there's tiki men. And snails and bees. Then there's the ice caves, which has yetis and UFOs. And
you can also battle the shopkeeper, and they'll try and kill you.
Yes, there are
You
shopkeepers.
can fight the shopkeeper.
Well, if you steal from him, he'll.
Yes.
Try and kill it. Watch.
There are shopkeepers that you can buy from, and this game has a very it's like Zelda, as the shopkeeper mechanics are basically like Zelda, but what's unique about this is that if you try and steal or fight the shopkeepers, they turn against you and start fighting you.
Yeah.
And they are the most powerful enemy in the game.
Yeah, they're so
hilarious.
terrifying.
And if you attack one, the rest of the entire game has them enraged and coming after you. And at
All
the end
the
of
shopkeepers.
It's
yeah.
just like Skyrim.
And at the end of every level, a shopkeeper comes and tries to attack you. But yeah, ice caves, mammoths, yetis,
Okay, so don't
UFOs. And then there's the temple, which has Anubis. And,
Oh yeah.
Why can't I name any other enemy? Crocmen, and mummies. Just a very, very wide variety of enemy choices. And there are a bunch of items that you can pick up throughout the game through shops and other methods that help power your character up. And there's just so much depth to this game because every single time
It's randomly generated.
Yeah, it's randomly generated. But even though it's randomly generated, your skill is retained from playthrough to playthrough. So for example, there's a lot of game knowledge that goes into this game. There's a whole sacrifice system, as we're about to see in this little short video.
We're kind of watching a little trailer for the game right now.
There's a whole sacrifice system that works on a different series of points, but there's no indication of what each thing is worth, and you just have to kind of know that damsels are worth 8 points, and like Yetis are worth 2 to 3 points depending on they're alive or dead, and stuff like that. And yeah, there's just a lot of game knowledge that goes into it, and there's not like much that's saved from file to file. Like I got my file for Spelunky erased one time because my computer got blue screen of death, and I honestly did not lose much in the game because a lot of the game is built upon skill and game knowledge.
Yeah, James.
That's cool.
James is full of skill and game knowledge.
Yes, I am the most
As
skilled
we know from his Minecraft.
and the most game knowledged. And yeah, it's just
game knowledge.
it's super fun with a unique experience every single time, and there's so much depth into the game. Like I've spent 190 hours into this game so far, and I still have not gotten tired of it. And then there's the whole secret 5th world of hell where you literally beat
Spoiler
Satan.
alert for Spelunky.
And it's so much fun. There's so much to do. There's so much replayability. I feel like I could play it forever and never get tired.
Wow. If you like platformers, consider Cave Story.
Yes.
I'm just now remembering that.
Cave Story is beautiful.
Yeah.
It also
Not
has
on
a
any of our
great
top
story.
10s, but-
Spoiler alert, there are
Yeah.
multiple endings to Cave
If
Story.
you like great platformers that also have stories, do that.
Spoiler alert.
Also, don't trade in your guns if you want more powerful guns later.
Mm-hmm.
Spoiler alert. Those were our top 10 lists.
Alright, that's it. Bye.
This is a very long video.
This was very long.
But we did have a guest here today, so give her a round of applause.
Yeah!
They will be clapping.
If you want to be a guest, I know a lot of people who do want to be guests. I think we might start a list or something.
Sure.
Like
If
we'll have
this-
a Google form.
So more than people than Nadia listen.
Yeah. Or if you just want to be a guest and not listen, you can be that prick.
Wow.
James and I are silently judging.
Yeah.
I'm
We know
not-
who you are.
Do you?
We do.
Is there a real person? Or are
We
you just
we
using-
we see who watches the whole podcast
Oh, yeah.
and who doesn't, and who's skipping around and putting comments to make it seem like they're watching. We can't actually see that, so don't worry.
Yeah. It's very big.
Anyways, do we have anything else we want to say? Oh, James and I, also as suggested by Annie Leonard, are thinking of playing games on like a Twitch channel or something, in between like podcasts and stuff.
Perhaps.
Perhaps. If you guys are really interested in that, it would be a lot less of just listening. You'd be watching us play a game and talk, I guess.
Yeah.
So if you want to see
You have to do it
those
silently.
intermittently with a podcast,
You should play some of these
Tell
games,
us.
like these top.
And maybe we'll do it.
yeah, and play some of these top 10 games. I mean, we
Yeah, what am I-
everyone, you know what? We did this last time. Everyone take one game from your list that you think our viewers should play and go ahead and tell them. Mine is going to have to be Ultimate Chicken Horse. Because it's cheap. It's probably the cheapest game on here. Is it? No, maybe Mario Kart Wii U or Stanley Parable. Very cheap game and also very fun with friends. Any Leonard?
It's really hard to say because I feel like most of these games have at least somewhat specific audiences. Like, I would say The World Ends With You, and I do recommend it to everyone, but very few people actually play it. So my general theory with that is it's sort of a self-selected game, and the people who do decide it would be that sort of thing are correct in thinking they like it. But it could also pleasantly surprise you, and I think it could use a much larger reach than it already does. So yeah, The World Ends With You.
With
you. I think I'm gonna have to say Kirby's Return to Dreamland. A lot of these,
Really?
yeah, a lot of these games I think appeal to a very certain audience, and there are a lot of aspects in a number of these games. Actually, no, I'm gonna say Terraria. Actually, I think that's a very good all around game
Yeah.
for everybody. It has something for
agree.
everyone.
I recommend The Binding of Isaac to everyone.
Yes.
I
I
was being sarcastic, but sure.
well, I mean, if you like
if you really want to
biblical
fight
references,
vagina
in your-
monsters,
yeah, vaginas and biblical
doesn't?
monsters, then
it's my kind
go
of-
ahead. But yeah, most of my games, I feel like there's something in there that's a certain type.
James
of
is
people.
too much of a gamer for you guys.
Yeah, sorry,
For
folks.
like his games.
But on
that topic.
On that note, I think
If you guys ever, like, obviously, I'm very, very passionate in these games. I don't know how passionate about your games you guys are, but
they're just our favorite
Pretty
games of all
passionate.
time, so
I feel pretty
not
passionate,
that much.
yeah.
no, I mean, but like I could go on for hours.
Oh,
on any of
you
these
mean like a
games.
specific podcast about the game?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you want to hear about us talk about one game very specifically,
Well,
tell us.
Yeah.
LNK.
well, I was just wondering,
yeah,
like, if you could do
okay.
that, like,
If
if
Arman could talk about James's
no,
favorite
no, no, I mean,
This is such a long.
This is-
God.
Civilization 6.
What is it?
What is it?
What are you gonna say?
no. I was just saying in general, like, if you want to have a conversation with me, I can rant for hours about video games.
Yeah, in real life or
If you
on the
wish to Talk to
podcast.
James. Talk to James.
Talk to me about video games. I'm very passionate about video
Okay.
games, as you
Don't
could.
talk to him about anything.
I'm a gamer, if you couldn't tell from this podcast already.
We're
Much
all-
more of a gamer than
We're all
these
gamers
two.
here, I think.
That's
That's why I
know.
play.
I
Super
consider
Smash
myself a
Ultimate.
moderate gamer.
I'm a
Slightly more so than casual, but not much.
I'm the superior gamer here, guys.
I believe you.
Anyways,
Wow.
that's been the podcast. It's been a bit of a long one, and we apologize. But you know what? I think there is a way. Actually, I found out that I can separate things up. So if you just want to see like the top 4 or like only number 7 for some reason, I think I can split it up into different things.
to 30 parts.
Into not into parts, but I can mark when each part starts
Oh.
on there. Someone pointed out that you can do like comments or something, and I can do that myself on our own podcast. So we might do that. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this podcast. If you didn't, go away. If you
Please
did,
never talk to us ever again.
if you did enjoy the podcast, go ahead and share it with your family and friends. Follow us on social media, and we're gonna put up a little form so you can sign up to be guests. I think we have a couple of other guests planned at the moment, but if you really want to be a guest on here, don't feel bad about asking
Yeah.
us. Go ahead and fill out the form that'll be up, hopefully by the time that this podcast goes up. And that's all for this week. Thank you again, Annie Leonard, for being our guest this week.
Thank you.
And for suggesting not only our 2 topics, but to possibly start gaming.
Twitch. Yeah,
for you guys.
Twitch. By the way, this whole thing was 2 hours and 30 minutes or so, and that's 150 minutes divided by 30 games. It's like 5 minutes per game.
5 minutes
That's
per
not
that's
so
not too bad.
bad.
That's not too bad.
It could have been worse.
You guys should appreciate us being able to talk for so long.
I thought it was being able to talk for so little.
Also that.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, be glad this isn't a 5-hour epic.
Maybe it will. Let's keep talking.